Only $50.
What the f*** going on with Dade and Broward?
Shut up and give me your lunch money.
Are we having a little problem here?
WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents the Neil Rogers Show.
No.
To talk to Neil, call 567-0560, toll free for Dade and Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
All right. I've been to Peter's Pistol, bratwurst and sauerkraut. I love a Polish pickle. I'll roll the barrel out. I put on lederhosen as I wear a funny hat. The sound of a brass tuba and an opera clarinet. It's a sound you won't forget. It's my favorite dance. I'm singing a lively polka. Fill your beer side up. Singing a lively polka. The cabbage rolls are good with sausage from a smoker. Stick your beer gun out. Singing a lively polka. Singing a lively polka.
All right.
I'm singing a funky polka. The band goes boom, pop, pop. We're singing a lovely polka. Dance with your grandma during a lovely polka. In heaven there's no fear, so drink some of my new polka. Eat some kielbasa, listening to a polka. Listening to a polka. Come on. Everyone loves the polka to see more. That's so very nice.
10:03 at 560 WQAM. Happy Thursday to you. Boy, got a nice short show today.
Oh.
That's the way we like it, nice and short. Anybody like it nice and short? Because I can help you out. So at any rate, we got that big Marlin game. Any interest in that?
No.
I noticed this morning, boy, you talk about beating a dead horse. Wow. Woo! Heavy. By the way, happy birthday to the little dog. Joe Rose, 42 today, huh? You'd think that once you get to be 42, you'd, have like a certain, I don't know, like you would transcend a lot of that kind of jockstrap mentality. But I guess when you wore one every day of your life, even on the days when they weren't playing the games, it just lingers forever. But be that as it may, no interest in Alex Fernandez. Is there anybody cares about him?
No.
The Marlins?
No.
Who've lost 400 in a row?
No.
Marlins and the Mets, 105 to pregame this afternoon. We got a short show again today, and some people in the audience are saying, Jesus Christ, we get raped for another hour today? And we're saying, yeah, is what we're saying. What the hell's wrong with that? Love those Marlins, especially on days when they got a day game. By the way, let's go Spurs! Oh! Nice going last night. Didn't see any of that. Not 1 second of it. Just tuned in to get the score, and I said, all right, there you go. Shut up these damn New Yorkers. Send them back where they came from. Go up to MSG. Maybe put a little MSG on your goddamn pizza that you're getting out there on 34th Street, wherever you're buying it. Well, they can go anywhere now because it's real safe, It's real safe. It's boring. It's plastic. At any rate, for some strange reason, the same newspaper, the Miami Herald, that yesterday gave us on the front page about a station on a phantom frequency, 1700, because Barry Jackass and the Herald got a vendetta against QAM. On the front page of the front section, for some reason, they don't seem to be too heavily into this story about the prostitution ring in Kendall involving the cops. Miami Beach cops, Miami cops, and God only knows how many other cops. It would seem to me that this is a pretty big story. Am I right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Pretty major story. Not only a prostitution ring, but with minors, for Christ's sake.
Oh, my God.
Putting an ad in New Times saying very busty youngest girls barely legal. And it turns out to find out they're not even close to being legal, or they're like barely illegal. And the Herald evidently doesn't figure this is a big story. I scoured my paper this morning, couldn't find nothing about it. All the TV news stations, they're all over it like stink on you-know-what. So we'll get into that, because you do understand that with many of the porkers, not all of them, there's a couple of good cops, one or two, one, But when you got that gun and the badge on there, the philosophy is don't do as we do as we say. Or else. So next time you see a cop driving recklessly, going like about 90 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic, not with his lights on chasing anybody, but just trying to make the goddamn fresh donuts at the corner convenience store or whatever it is. Next time you see that, don't get pissed off about it. Just remember that when you wear the badge and the gun and the uniform, it's don't do as I do as I say. Slow down, you asshole. I'm going to write you a ticket and out of my way. And this business with the cops and hookers, I mean, this is something brand new, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I can remember the first day I came here, March of '76, and there was that big thing with the same old tired stuff on Biscayne Boulevard with the decoy cops and the hookers and the this and that, and then come to find out the cops were like, making sure that the hookers completed the job. Yeah, that's right.
Squirt, squirt.
Yeah, completed the job, and then say, oh, by the way, you're under arrest, sweetheart. Crappy blowjob, too, by the way. In fact, I think that's how they would decide how long a sentence they got, by the quality of the head. But at any rate, be that as it may, don't forget, if the fish stinks at the head. And the same newspaper, by the way, that evidently is oblivious, that thinks that a big news story is that we're going to get some competition, supposedly, on a station that nobody can pick up and puts it on the front page. The same newspaper for the 8 millionth time. Oh, my God. Are you people old and ponderous or what?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Another editorial today in the Herald. End casino leases. What a surprise. Because we know that Governor Jeb, whose wife would never try to smuggle anything in without paying her fair share, Governor Jeb and Bobby Butterworth, goody two-shoes Bobby, they're doing their best. They are working overtime to make sure that we don't get that we don't renew the leases on these cruise ships. That's right. We don't want them at the Florida ports because there's gambling going on there. It's evil. It's bad. When is it going to stop? That's what it says at the end of this editorial. When is it going to stop? And this is the same newspaper, by the way, and I remember this very vividly. Just 3 or 4 weeks ago, reading, they had a whole section about Vegas and Atlantic City and Biloxi and how people are flocking to these places and all the revenue that's coming in and what a great time everybody's having. And here are the phone numbers and all the tour numbers and the 800 numbers, et cetera, and so on. Like these were the greatest places on the face of the earth. But if it happens in full, see, gambling is evil, and not all gambling, because then they go on again with their tortured logic here. It says the casino's lobbyists argue that the gambling aboard these ships isn't much different from that at state-sanctioned facilities such as racetracks and high-life frontons. Yet that's not quite true. Pure mutual wagering is heavily regulated and heavily taxed. These ships are not. And by the way, these ships are not. This is the same newspaper that fought tooth and nail with Mickey Arison on his side to make sure we got the American Airlines arena built there downtown, and helped to get him a new slip built there at the Port of Miami. And what's Mickey Arison's business? It's cruise ships with gambling. Oh, yeah! But when it was in their interest, then it was a good thing. Let's get that arena built, and let's get downtown renovated, and make the value of One Herald Plaza like a hell of a lot more than it is now, because it's been a slum there for 25 years. So anything that's in the Herald's interest, it's good. If everybody else wants it, it's bad. So Mickey Arison's a great guy if he can do something for the Herald and make their property more valuable. But if, he's got cruise ships going out there, then he's a bad guy, even though they fought tooth and nail to put one over on the public, along with Mayor Penis, who's now trying to put one over on the public with that penny sales tax, with an election on a Thursday in the middle of the summer on July 29, when 90% of the people with a brain are going to be out of town. Does anybody care about these things?
No.
No. So we'll get back to the Herald editorial. This is the 400th, by the way, in a 50,000-part series on why casino gambling is evil. Just remember that. All you kids out there that are out of school, don't ever go anywhere near a casino because you'll go straight to hell. Satan is in there wagging his pitchfork and his tail, and if you go anywhere near that casino, you're going to burn at the very least in purgatory for about 400 years and then drop right down the elevator shaft to hell. You're going to get the old shaft. That's what Isaac Hayes says, and he didn't even work at the goddamn Herald. When does it stop? When does this insanity stop? It says at the end of this is pathetic. And then Carl Hyacin has got this whole thing about the penny sales tax and about the Metro Rail. And my gosh, were we insane. The Metro Rail, which he says, by the way, where's that one line? One of America's most infamous mass transit failures. And who was it that helped to put the Metro Rail over on the public? The Miami Herald! Oh! Calling Richard Friedman every name in the book, and I see her 20 years later. He's still the only one coming back fighting off this crazy penny sales tax. Nice going, Dick. Bad hair, bad job on a national anthem, but at least he's there, fighting the good fight. We got one guy that speaks English in Dade County, and all the rest of us bailed out, thank God. It's hopeless. And the Herald, boy, they've sure done their part. And they continue doing their part day after day. 10 past 10 at 560 WQM. Are you selling your home, looking to buy one? Maybe you're moving out of Dade. Good move, by the way.
Shut up before I beat the crap out of you.
Thank you for attending today's conference on how to deal with the Y2K problem. I would like to announce the development of a new software system, which will be year 2000 compliant. This program is known as Millennia Year Application Software System, or MyAss. Next Monday, there will be a meeting in which I will show MyAss to everyone. We will hold demonstrations throughout the month so that all employees will have an opportunity to get a good look at MyAss.
All right.
We have not addressed networking aspects yet, so currently only one person at a time can use MyAss. This restriction will be removed after MyAss expands. Last week, my secretary said to me, "I'm a little nervous. I never put anything in MyAss before." I helped her through the first time, and afterwards she admitted that it was relatively painless, and she was actually looking forward to doing it again, and was even ready to kiss MyAss. As you begin using the program, feel free to put anything you want in MyAss. As MyAss grows larger, we envision a time when it will be commonplace for a supervisor to hand work to an employee and say, "Here, stick this in MyAss." It will be a great day when we need data quickly and our employees can respond, "Here it is. I just pulled it out of MyAss."
10:16 at 560 WQM. It's kind of interesting that Joe Costello is out again today. Maybe Joe's under the weather. Sickest man I've ever seen in my life for somebody that young. Although I think he's probably paying me back for shining him at the track last night. Because he came in yesterday and said, "I'm thinking about taking a friend of mine up to Pompano Park tonight." And I decided, well, if he's going, I'm not. You believe that, Joe? Not true. No, actually, my little dog had to stay at the vet again overnight, and I wanted to leave my big dog sitting there like looking around, like where is he? Having too much of a good time? And the reason my little dog had to stay at the vet for a second night and maybe is coming home today and is sicker than a dog is because I have a killer mom. I don't want to start sounding like George too much, ripping my mom a big fat ass, but you know something, I might anyway today. Because yesterday at lunch at Mommy's, I finally wheedled out of her, killer Millie, that she was feeding the dogs, just a few soda crackers. And, of course, if she's admitting to a few soda crackers, God only knows what other swill, what other people food, what other crap she's been pushing in their puss. Well, they look so sad. Yeah, right. See, this is a woman, seriously, I've been too generous with her over the years. This is a woman, she puts on a good act, pretends that she's naive, like Edith Bunker, that she doesn't understand what she's doing. There's a method to her madness, killing everybody with kindness. People, dogs, her neighbor there with the mandel bread. The day a couple of years ago she gave me all of that mandel bread to take to Cheryl at IOD, knowing full well that I would eat most or all of it in the car, which I did. Yesterday we got at lunchtime, which is always a 14-course lunch, for whatever bizarre reason. And for the second week in a row she's got shrimp, little shrimp, with cocktail sauce. And I noticed last week the cocktail sauce seemed awfully sweet, and when I went home my blood sugar was soaring. So I said to her yesterday, before we start eating this, let me ask you, what's in this cocktail sauce? She goes in the refrigerator, brings me out a container of some crap she put in it, and the second ingredient on there is high fructose corn syrup. Sugar, pure sugar, high fructose corn syrup. So I read it to her, said, I can't eat it. Oh, I like sugar, is her response. I like sugar is what she says, what she responds to her diabetic son. And as far as her neighbor upstairs with the mandel bread, well, he's got a wife, let her eat it. The whole world is wrong, Millie is right. The rest of us are all out of step, this woman is right. Killing my dogs with kindness. Only a few soda crackers, and by the way, anybody ever feed soda crackers to a dog?
No.
Anybody with a brain?
No.
With an IQ bigger than their thumbnail?
No.
No. So maybe that's why my little dog was blood all over the place and puking and all that kind of other stuff. And why I had to spend all of this money having him at the vet for at least 2 days, and God only knows how many more. Nice going, Ma. I'm going to tell you, the market on those condos in Hollywood is zooming up there. I think I could make a real big buck on that one. Be that as it may. I don't want her to get nervous, you understand, now that I'm her landlord. You try to do nice things. You buy your mother a car for cash, no car payments. You buy her condo so she don't have to worry about being put out on the street by her sister or if anything happens. Rent-free. Try to be nice. Send a nice check over there every month to make sure that she's got enough money to buy the ingredients to make the mandel bread and the soda crackers. And yet she still can't resist killing everybody with food. I guess it's a Jewish thing, you know what I'm saying? Killing everybody with food, whether they want it or not. By the way, speaking of whether they want it or not, let's take our usual poll that we do very quickly here, a little screamless on the Marlin game today. We got the Marlin pregame coming up at 1:05, the Marlins and the Mets at 1:35. Let's find out if we have any people who are going to be listening to that Marlin game this afternoon here on 560 WQAM. Come on, let's hear it. Get the audience involved very briefly, because once I get started with this other stuff, and we got a short show. 567-0560, 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Any interest whatsoever in that Marlin game this afternoon? Well, we'll find out. I'll get him. WQAM. WQAM. How come these aren't on the air, by the way? Don't tell me we're having a phone problem. WQAM. Oh, no. Why is my life flashing before my eyes? Why do I have this sick feeling in the pit of my stomach that because Joe Costello decided to stay home again today, that we're having all sorts of technical problems and aren't going to get the phone on the air? Why do I have that sick, disgusting feeling inside my puffer today? WQAM.
Who the hell are the Marlins?
Okay, oh, there we go. WQAM.
Hello.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, may I speak to Neil?
Speaking.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
I will not listen to the Marlin games. I will not watch the Marlin games.
Yes?
They suck.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's a gentleman who just pointed something out that I think most of us may have missed. That is the Marlins suck. Oh! You know, I'm thinking about that guy that called yesterday, and it sounded so contrived to me. He was at a luncheon, and some of the executives from all four of the sports franchises were there, and my name came up in a conversation, and what are we going to do about Neil, and he's killing us? You know, I got news for you. I'm not the one that's killing you. You're shooting yourselves in the goddamn feet. Put a crappy product on there. Nobody gives a crap. Nobody has the least bit of interest, and it's my fault. You know, the dog done it. WQAM. WQAM.
Yeah, just calling in.
Yes, sir?
About the Marlins.
Yes, you're going to be listening?
Yes.
You're the one?
I'm the one.
You will be listening to the Marlin game.
I certainly will be.
Are you interested in Alex Fernandez?
Yeah, as a pitcher, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. We finally found one. Gee, if he could only call the morning show this morning, they wasted more time talking about the Marlins and that big fat cow Alex Fernandez, who's all bent out of shape, by the way, that there are more Yankee fans at the game when he pitched when the Yankees were playing that weekend than Marlin fans. All bent out of shape. It makes him feel so bad. It probably frustrates him. He goes out and eats more and more. That's what Bifo said. You get really frustrated, and I know that, you know, like after leaving Mom's yesterday and finding out how she's killing all of us and poisoning the dogs and the family, I ran out there and got some Ben & Jerry's. I was so aggravated. It's pretty good, by the way. Here's Key West. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Neil. I'm calling about your poll.
Yes, sir.
The Marlins blow.
Okay. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
No.
We did find one guy who said that he was going to be listening, and he does like Alex Fernandez. He's a chubby chaser is what he said. WQAM. WQAM.
Yeah, I want to speak to Neil.
Speaking. This must be the people from the Herald, the hang-ups. Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes.
Listen, I just want to make a comment.
Go right ahead.
I used to listen to the first team all the time.
Yeah.
And enjoyed them, even though you might think I'm crazy for saying that.
Yeah.
But I just got so sick of the commercials, and I know that this guy's making big bucks, the company, because if not, they wouldn't be doing it. So I understand that. But speaking from a fan point of view,
yes, sir.
I got so sick and tired of listening to them for 2 minutes and listening to 16 minutes of commercial, and I got so bored. So now I just listen to you, and whatever you got to speak about them, I get info on whatever the hell's going on. But
I like the wee-wee. Yeah.
Yeah, if Little Dog get in a fight, and I heard you saying that he got suspended, and from what I gathered, he got suspended because he was complaining to the management about so many commercials. Is that correct?
Because he was berated. No, not because he was complaining, because he was chewing an ass out of the program director and F you and F this, and you can't do that to the boss. So he got suspended for 2 days.
Right, but I mean,
because the real boss was out of town, and the straw boss decided he would flex his muscle.
Right, but is the reason why he was complaining because of the...
Sure, but you don't understand. The program director doesn't have anything to do with how many commercials. The program director doesn't make the format. He doesn't run the radio station. The sales department runs this radio station. So Joe is screaming at the wrong guy. Yes, sir?
So how come, and I'm being honest because I don't understand, how come they have so many and you don't?
Because it's in my contract, because we won't allow them to do it, because I got a better contract than they did.
All right, Neil, thanks.
And have a great day. Yeah, the day they start running 9-minute breaks in this show is the day they can put Christina back on here at midday. But that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? Is it? Is it here or there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't want to rehash that whole thing with Joe in the format again, but I will say this. Those sports updates, I mentioned it yesterday, and our program director does have the power. See, if they would take him out in the hallway and beat the crap out of him about that, about those awful repetitious sports updates, I'd say, yeah, now you're talking. Now you're beating the crap out of the right guy, because that's his department. He's the one responsible for that grotesque format. It's unlistenable. It's unlistenable, okay? I'll say it again. 2 days ago, I'm driving home listening to the Humper, and that, he comes on and does his piece and rambles on with his monologue, and then we go to the first commercial break at about 15:15, and then 22 after we come back, and we go into a sports update, which we already heard it doing. Yeah, that crap. And it goes on and on and on and on. And here's the scores for the format. All right, kill it. Thank you. That doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But you know something? Someday, maybe again, before they stick my ass in the ground. Well, I guess it won't happen because I'm sticking out here for 3 years or less. I was hoping maybe someday I'd work for somebody who could actually turn on their radio and listen to something and decide if it sounded good. Decide if the format sounded right, decided if some voices belonged on the air, things like that. Decided if the commercials, when I don't want to rehash from 18 months ago, but I'm sure if you've been listening a long time, you remember when I first came to this radio station, we'd go into a commercial break and hear, and we were running spots that were unintelligible. We had cart machines that were like older than Thomas Edison. And the sponsors were paying from this crap, And it took me 18 months to realize.
I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, they didn't care. What the hell? What are they screaming about that? What are they complaining about? It's not their department anyway. We don't care if the sponsors' announcement gets on here. We just want their money. That's all. We got to pay Wayne. We got to pay John Henry. And you people think I'm making this stuff up. That's exactly what this place is all about. It's a tribute to Greg Reed's ego because he wants to be Mr. Sports. He wants to schmooze with all these jockstrap wearers. That's his whole thing in life, And when you marry into a family that's got a lot of money, you can afford the luxury of doing crap like that, Be a big shot. I could be a big shot, too, with somebody else's money. No problem at all. Calm down, please. And all this started with just asking if you're going to be listening to the Marlins. A simple question like that, and they hate the Marlins so much that I'm already whipped up into a frenzy. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh. Neil Rogers.
You've heard of Barbie and Ken. Now, from You Dropped a Bomb on Me products comes the Larry Flint doll. Touch Larry's special spot, and Larry Flint talks. Yes, the kids will love the all-new Larry Flint doll, complete with its very own penthouse suite, handicap parking space pad, Larry Flint computer accessories, so you can dig up all the dirt on your friends and neighbors, whether it's true or not. It's not the prettiest doll you'll ever own. It's the Larry Flint doll that actually talks. Wheelchair and Smut magazine sold separately.
Exactly. 10:32 at 560 WQAM. Oh, and I also should mention, I don't want to rip my mother too much, but I do want to tell you this, okay? Just so this is out in public on the air, just in case I ever come home from vacation one day and find that both of my dogs are missing because they've been mercifully put to sleep prematurely. Because the little dog is at the vet, thanks to her overfeeding him and feeding him all this other crap, and he gained 1.5 pounds over the weekend. When you only weigh 10 pounds and you gain 1.5 pounds, that's a very substantial amount, especially in 2 days. It was only 600 soda crackers. So at any rate, she says to me, this is benevolent, loving Mildred. She says, well, if something happens to one of the dogs, I'd have the other one put to sleep right away. She can't wait. She cannot wait. The Dr. Mengele of the animal world, Millie Kevorkian, can't wait to have them put to sleep. Oh, I put my dog to sleep. Did she ever really have a dog? No. But as she rewrites history again. Anyway, getting back to this, this is the worst editorial in the history of the Miami Herald. I'm going to tell you why. I'll get to it. I mean, the thing on the gambling, they've been screaming this forever, and they always will, because their editorial board, they're psychotic. They're out of their minds. After it goes on about the pari-mutuel wagering being heavily regulated and heavily taxed, and the casinos are not, it says, moreover, the casino's pace of wins and losses, mostly losses because in the long run the house always wins, is potentially much faster than in pari-mutuels. By the way, you know anybody that makes a living at the track? Huh? I think I know one guy that wins pretty good at the track. Other than that, they all lie a lot. But anyway, it says that's because his impatient gamblers repeatedly demonstrate roulette tables and slot machines don't require that annoying wait for the horses to run. Result, someone can lose thousands in minutes, a feat by no means impossible at a racetrack, but generally less common there. Are you following this? The Herald, this is like, isn't this great that you got mommy and daddy right there, just in case you're like a stepchild, in case you're an orphan. You got mommy and daddy right there at the Herald, holding you by the hand. Even if you're 70 years old, they want to hold you by the hand and make sure that nobody has you lose too much money all at once. State government may not be able to rid Florida of these parasitic enterprises. Parasitic enterprises, underlined by me. But it ought to be able to deny them leased state land, just as it balked at renewing. Now, here we go. This is the worst thing in the history of the Miami Herald, even worse than them putting that thing on the front page yesterday. This is the worst. Just as it balked at renewing the dock lease of Palm Beach's Snooty Sailfish Club a few years ago, until the club showed that it no longer excluded Jews and other minorities from joining. How do you like that?
Oh,
this coming from the Herald that was notorious all over the world for John S. Knight Sr., and who God only knows how other members of the family that runs this newspaper, being members of an exclusive club on the beach years ago. Anybody remember that?
Uh-huh.
That excluded Jews and blacks and other minorities. Remember this one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the Herald. Talk about the pot calling the kettle purple. Jesus Christ! In evicting the ships, the state would be carrying out the mandate of Florida voters. 3 times they voted overwhelmingly against allowing casinos, yet every time they turn around, they see casinos making further inroads. When does it stop, wants the Herald to know. The same newspaper that put those big articles in there a few weeks ago about how great it is in Vegas, and here's the toll-free numbers to make your reservations, and how great it is in Biloxi, and they're raking in the dough, and everybody's having a great time. It's wonderful as long as it's someplace else. You follow that? You people at the Herald, so help me. It's just unbelievable. Do they have any credibility at all?
No.
Was that New Yorker or magazine article right on target? I bet your sweet ass. Just a bunch of pandering fools, and everybody is laughing at them. Everybody laughs at them because they really believe that they're fooling somebody. And here Carl Hyacin, the highly touted Carl Hyacin, for what reason I really don't know, other than he likes alligators and other wildlife, manatees. Gravy train to nowhere. By the year 2000, people will be saying, by gosh, how did we live without it? That was Metro Commissioner Beth Phillips back in 1985. Speaking in defense of Metro Rail, it is now nearly 2,000 people are saying, by gosh, were we insane? Metro Rail was and remains one of America's most infamous mass transit failures. Now, in a hastily scheduled late July election, Miami-Dade voters will be asked again to invest prodigiously in the train to nowhere. And he goes on about this scam with Mayor Penis and what they're trying to pull over on the public, which he's right about that. But again, conveniently leaves out the fact that it was the Miami Herald that discredited Richard Friedman and this Stop Transit Over People organization, who were trying to stop that billion-dollar boondoggle. They did everything in their power to make them look bad and to support the Metro Rail. And now they got the chutzpah again to slap the public in the face here and say, oh, gee, this is one of the biggest failures in America. And you people put it over the top in another suspicious fixed election down there in Dade County, when the last results from Homestead came in there in the wee hours of the morning and turned around with looked like a defeat into a victory. And another one of those elections where when you were against it, you had to vote yes, and if you were in favor of it, you had to vote no. Confuse the public, fix the ballots like they did in the Miami mayor's election, have all the dead people voting a few times, and you can put anything over in this town. Because except for 25 old Julios, nobody votes here anyway. Unbelievable. This is all I can say about the editorial board and Carl Hyacin.
Boy, does he have a lot of chutzpah.
Jesus Christ. Talking about snooty people with exclusive clubs. The Snooty Sailfish Club in Palm Beach. A newspaper whose founding fathers were notorious for their anti-Semitism and belonging to exclusive clubs over on the beach. Jesus Christ. Yeah, see, they figured that everybody just got off their banana boat yesterday. Nobody remembers these things. But anyway, does anybody care?
No.
But at least I got it off my chest anyway. Does anybody care about the fact that there are cops whoring out 16-year-old girls in Kendall?
No.
No. That the patrol cars, and we heard the reports on the TV news from the neighbors saying, oh yeah, there were cop cars coming and going all times of the day, unmarked cars, all kinds of cars. God only knows all the cops that were having a good time there. How do you like that? Oh! If your law enforcement people are going to do a good job, they got to be in a good mood. They got to have some R&R. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is with 16-year-old girls with very large breasts, by the way. Oh! Yeah. Thank God for that. If we heard that our police were down there banging some ugly chicks with small raisin breasts, then we wouldn't feel so good about them. But when you know that your law enforcement guys are down there banging some real hot young chick, even though she's only 16, you say, now we're proud of the men in blue. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. Don't do as we do. Do as we say. Don't be screwing around with minors. Don't be driving too fast. Don't be jaywalking. Don't be doing any other goddamn thing. And certainly don't be doing no drugs. That's right. And don't be selling drugs because we're the ones that are going to take care of that. Once we confiscate all the stuff that we intercept here, that seems to keep disappearing, by the way, in Dade County and especially in Miami all the time. All the drug contraband keeps disappearing. I can't imagine where the hell it goes. Oh. Well, of course, we got our own pipeline here in this building. Thank God for that. That's why see, in our wisdom, they built this joint just south of the Broward line. We're still in Dade County here, see, because we wanted to have a real close pipeline to the good stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man.
How much Brian Norcross? Oh!
Hello, suckers. My name is Columba. I got off the plane after shopping in France to put your money away. I bought designer clothes, expensive baubles and jewels, and knew in advance the duty tax was due. Oh! I tried very hard to smuggle, and they wouldn't let me buy. But I did not get in trouble, 'cause I'm the governor's wife. Yes, I'm just obedient wife who wants to live up my life with special favors. After all, my husband's brother will soon be your dictator. I'm like Dora de la Vida. I buy anything I need and just one thing more. I'll be just risking family values when I get back from the store.
10:45 at 560 WQAM. Prostitution ring investigation broadens, if you pardon the expression. The investigation into a prostitution ring of underage girls run by a Miami Beach police officer expanded on Wednesday into the Miami Police Department. It's spreading like crazy, and evidently so were those girls. One day after Greg Priest, what an appropriate name that is, you know? Huh? Isn't that great?
There's no fact in the church.
We finally found a straight priest. At least that's his name anyway. One day after Greg Priest and his girlfriend surrendered on charges of pimping and racketeering, a Miami uniformed officer was relieved of duty in connections with the brothels in 2 Kendall homes, said Lieutenant John Campbell, head of the Miami Police Homicide Department. Brothels in 2 Kendall homes with underage chicks. How do you like that, huh? Speaking of, what's her name? Miami Police Internal Affairs denied that an officer was taken off his beat. That might be because no arrest warrants were filed, Campbell said. The name of the suspended officer was not released, but he is not a member of the Homicide Department of the Special Investigation Section. Police were tipped off into the Sex for Cash operation by an advertisement in the weekly New Times that read, "Very busty youngest girls, barely legal." An undercover officer responded to the ad and went to one of the Kendall brothels. Police said a 16-year-old girl working for Priest and his girlfriend, Dianelis Morato, told the officer she would have any kind of sex he wanted for $190.
Only $50.
$190 will do. The girl was arrested on May 28th. She and other witnesses led police to Priest, 31, and Morato, 29. Priest resigned on Sunday, and he and his girlfriend surrendered on Tuesday. Priest had been a Miami Beach officer for 8 months. Before that, he worked for the Hialeah and Opelika police. Juan Del Castillo, spokesman for the Miami-Dade Police Department, the lead investigative agency, declined to comment on the Miami officer being relieved of duty. Neighbors near the 2 Kendall brothels and Morato's Hialeah townhouse said police cruisers from different departments were frequently in the parking lot. Are you following this, huh? They must have just been checking up to make sure who's being naughty and nice. Maybe they were running the mop division. Just in there to mop up. The Miami-Dade detectives working the case probably heard the same thing, said Al Boza, Miami Beach police spokesman. Nice job on the Cunanan thing, by the way, Al. Not. Boza said Miami Beach Police Chief Richard Veretto had issued a zero-tolerance edict, that's with a T, edict, for any additional officer linked to the sex ring. Miami Beach Police are continuing their internal investigation, while Miami-Dade police continue their criminal investigation. Boza declined to comment on whether additional Miami Beach officers were involved, but a source at the Miami Beach Police Department who spoke on condition of anonymity said the inquiry was picking up speed. They're looking for everything, he said. They apparently saw a lot of patrol cars there.
Oh!
Yeah. Lots and lots of pork there, so to speak. Yeah, they were feeling porky in Kendall and wherever else. How do you like that? So whether it's drugs, whether it's prostitution, whether it's gambling, whether it's speeding, whether it's reckless driving, you name it, don't do as we do as we say. Just gotta love it. Here's Doral. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Where did you read that article? What paper did you read that article from?
Which article is that?
The one you just read.
Sun Sentinel.
You were talking about that the Herald didn't show the story on that.
Not in the Broward edition, not today. They had one the other day, but not today.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that. It's in Tuesday's edition of Dade County.
Yeah.
The front section, too. Okay, also about the Marlins.
Yeah, but how come there's no follow-up? I mean, this thing is now...
Yeah.
Huh?
That's true.
I realize they got to have a lot of space on the front page for stories about phantom radio stations on frequencies that nobody can pick up. I realize that's very important news, but it seems to me that when we have cops who are not only running prostitution rings, but with minors, that it would seem to me that most people in town would be like aghast.
Right. Well, yeah, there isn't any follow-up. There's just that story on the Tuesday edition.
Yeah.
Another thing, speaking about the radio, I actually have a mini disc radio in the car. And it goes up to 1710.
Wow.
And I do get
Aren't you lucky?
And I tried last night 1700 just to see if, and it sounds clear as a bell in Miami.
Great.
But I won't listen to it anyways.
No, neither will anybody else.
Right. About the Marlins? No way. If I can't stand watching it on the radio, another thing,
yeah.
Did you finally, I know I bothered you about this before, did you finally see the Shawshank Redemption?
No. But it's something to look forward to. See, if I say I saw it, then that's the end of it.
Right.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, thanks.
Haven't seen the, what's that other one that Boca Brian, the thing they had to write up about it today, the HBO thing? The Mafia thing. What the hell is the name? Whatever it's called. Haven't seen that yet either. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Nobody cares about these things. And that's why it just continues. This place, it's like your feet are moving. It's like, running in step, but you're not going anywhere. Your feet are moving, but you're not making any progress. You're not going forward. You're not going backward. You're just stuck in time. That's South Florida. And we can thank the people of the Herald, by the way, to a large extent for that, plus the indifference of the masses out there also. And I will confess that most of us, we did the easy thing. I mean, what the hell are you how can you going to fight City Hall when you're outnumbered? So we just ran. We turned tail. We ran to Broward and Palm Beach and any place else we could get to. And you know what I say to that?
Oh!
Good move. Excellent move. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Lake Worth. Hello.
Hey, Neil, there's one thing the anti-gambling people won't admit. There's gambling casinos on every street in this state. They're called stock brokerage houses.
Right. Okay, thank you. And, of course, thank God you can't lose thousands of dollars there at one time. See, the Herald is not only going to give you whatever news they decide is the news, but they're also going to tell you how to spend your money, how to make your money, how to lose your money, where to lose your money, how fast you can lose your money. I don't think anybody with a brain is interested in looking in the goddamn newspaper to decide what they want to do with their money. But these are the great moralists for our community, and they're going to tell us what's evil. I mean, this one line is so great. These parasitic enterprises, the same parasitic enterprises that they had these great glowing articles about in their newspaper. I mean, I realize they always say, well, we separate our news pages from our editorial pages, but if they feel that strongly about it, how could they have allowed that whole special section to be in there, which included, by the way, a lot of advertising that they made money from? Advertising from parasitic enterprises. Just like all those escort services they have advertised on the sports pages, all those massage parlors and glorified whorehouses. Don't do as we do as we say. That's the American effing way, baby, whether it's the cops, whether it's these goody two-shoes on the editorial boards of the newspapers, whoever the politicians, whoever it is. We just went through a year and a half of that with the Monica Gate, with the blowjobs. Just the same old tired crap. Because when you find somebody that can really look you in the eye and be even a little bit honest and admit that they're like, even Jimmy Carter, that little pudwhacker, had lust in his heart. Even at least he had the balls to say that. A little deep southern yahoo like him. But everybody else, they have to put on this pretense of being so much better and so much holier. Just like the Bushes, by the way, speaking of, what's her name? Columba. Maybe she's like, I never heard that name before. Did you ever hear that name?
No.
Columba? Maybe that's like a female Columbo. Maybe that's what her problem is. Maybe she's only got one eye. She couldn't see, maybe she's a little cockeyed. Maybe that's why she couldn't see all that stuff in her bags. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Neil.
sir. Yes, I am.
only when I watch the Braves play and I can eat Millie's model cake. And leave her alone. She's a good kid.
No, she's not. She's poisoning you and everybody in that building, Ira.
Stop the baloney.
Yeah, okay, go eat some bologna, okay? That's her next-door neighbor telling the defense of my defenseless mother because he's sucking around for more free Mondo bread. You know, Ira, I guess when you get to be 110, it doesn't make any difference how much crap you're eating, okay? But in the meantime, the fact that she's poisoning diabetics, poisoning my dogs, killing everybody with kindness, poisoning me with hidden sugar in a goddamn cocktail sauce, everywhere you look. I like sugar. Well, good, then eat all the sugar. Pick up a goddamn container of Domino sugar and stick a straw in it, Millie, okay? Killing my dogs. Killing everybody with kindness.
Oh, I'd have those dogs put away in a... why don't you find a nice home for that little dog? Find a nice couple that are home a lot.
How do you like that? I raised those dogs since they were 8 years old. They're 8 weeks old. They're 10 and a half years old. 10 and a half years I've raised those two dogs. And she's telling me I have them to put to sleep. How about if we have her put to sleep? Oh! Yeah, there you go. I got news for her. My dogs don't need a condo to live in. I'll tell you that right now. 567. Don't need a car to drive. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Cut the crap, Ira, okay? All you're doing is sucking around for more free Mondo bread. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. I mean, talking about so many great things this morning, I kind of hesitate to tell you.
It's hard to figure out where to start, yeah.
Okay. I've been listening to you for a couple of weeks now talk about Ruth Chris and how great it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and I love good steak.
Yes.
But in listening to you, it sounded too good to be true. I used to go there years ago.
Well, what do you mean too good to be true? What does that mean?
Not as good as you made it out to be, okay? But I went.
Yeah.
The night before last.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, I had a very disappointing experience.
Really?
Totally.
Ruth Chris, which one was this?
No, the one in Fort Lauderdale.
You had a bad experience?
Bad.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened, if you want to hear it.
I'll listen.
Okay. Start out in the bar. I started out with having a drink before dinner.
Yeah.
Bartender made a lousy sour. I had to tell her how to make it all over again. Now, this is in a really good place. The bartender should know what the hell they're doing. So then I sit down, I order a strip, I order mushrooms, and I order mayonnaise potatoes. The waiter comes over and asks me if I want any wine. Well, no, well, try this. This is really great. So I tried it. It was lousy.
Yeah.
So I sent it back. So I got something else. Then the steak arrived, and I started eating it. And it was mediocre. You know, you talked about Smith and Walensky?
Terrible, the worst.
Okay, this was the worst steak I've ever eaten.
Not possible.
Well, I'm telling you.
Okay.
It was dry.
Maybe they don't like you.
Maybe not. Anyway.
Maybe it was personal, you know. Maybe it wasn't business, it was personal.
Any restaurant can be off any night.
Right.
I know that. Okay. Anyway, I got halfway through it, and I just couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
The potatoes were cold.
Yeah.
So I called for the manager.
Yeah.
She came over.
Oh, boy. I sure hope you didn't mention my name, by the way.
I did.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Oh.
I did.
Oh.
I said, listen, I'm here because she raved about this place.
Yeah.
And she said, what's the matter? So I told her about the steak. She said, oh, my God, that's terrible. I said, yeah.
You said you ate half of it, though.
I ate half of it, right.
Well, how could you eat half of it? If it was the worst piece of meat you ever had in your life.
Well, I'd had a few drinks, and I was hungry. I hadn't eaten all day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, bottoms up, pal. Okay. What did I tell you about Walking Death? Haven't I always told you for 23 years? The Walking Dead. They should have just had a sign on the door that would have kept him out. We don't serve dead people, okay? That would have solved the problem.
It's a special day here at Disney World when the screening gays meet the rest of the girls in the closet no more. That's what gay day is for. It's a gay day after all.
All right.
It's a day of fun when we wear red shirts and when we all come. You can hear the squirts. We can tickle and tease with our manicured goatees. It's a gay day after all.
Squirt, squirt.
We'll be holding hands in Adventureland and watch the Liza Minnelli marching band down a tourist street with a kiss on the cheek. It's a gay day after all. We can wear tight shorts made of gold lame and wear mascara like Billy Zane. We can mince away as we prance and sashay. It's a gay day after all. MGM will have a celebrity ball hosted by Rip Taylor and RuPaul. There'll be Mervyn, Monkey Rock, not to mention Pete Lecoq. It's a gay day after all. 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 It's a gay day after all.
11:01 at 560 WQAM. Joe Costello showed up today.
Oh, you noticed.
Let's hear it.
Oh!
Thank you. Well, we were just a little concerned that maybe he might be sick again, for the 85th time this month, and it's only the 24th. Still got a week to go. So all of these things, this guy prefaces his call here a minute ago, but I talked about so many interesting things today, but what does he pick out to talk that he had a crappy experience at Ruth's Chris? Do I care that he had a crappy? In fact, something? I'm glad he had a crappy experience. I hope they gave him mouse meat, is what I hope. Because after you have the first 20 or 30, see, the drinks were crappy, but he had like about a dozen of those. The steak was crappy, he ate half of that. This is the same kind of guy that goes into any restaurant, eats 90% of the meal, and then I'm sending this back, I don't want to pay for it, it was no good. Not like today we got those crappy steaks from Smith & Walensky in here. Did I eat half of it?
No.
Did I eat a fourth of it?
No.
Did I eat an eighth of it?
No.
16th of it?
No.
I had like 1 or 2 bites and I went, like that. But this guy has to make a big scene. And something I really couldn't care one way or the other. Because after the indifferent treatment that I got from them in the last time. And speaking of indifferent treatment, by the way, John Penis, I'm going to tell you right now, I want to go on record as saying we got one sales guy that comes close to getting the job done and really taking care of business, and that's Brian. You know what I'm talking about? Tall Brian. And Brian's a good guy, okay? He services the accounts, changes the copy, no nonsense, no bull crap. John Penis, this guy is getting into the same routine as some of the other people. I don't want to mention Todd Dreck. Comes to me 2 days ago with his song and a dance about these people that do blood testing for allergies. This is very big now, this outfit in Hollywood. He gives me a book and a brochure and all this propaganda. Oh, would you be willing to do it? No problem. Okay, they'll be here tomorrow, meaning yesterday. Did they show up yesterday?
No.
Was he around yesterday?
No.
Did he come in today to say, oh, by the way, they're coming today or anything about it?
No.
Any follow-up?
No.
Any new copy from this guy in the last 5 years for any account?
No.
No. So John Penis, he must be hanging around with Todd Dreck too much. And from what I hear, they went scuba diving. They went like deep sea diving together a couple of weeks ago. Not in the Bahamas, like downstairs on the second floor, I think is where they were doing it. Yeah, looking for clams. Boy, you people down there think you're kidding somebody? And Greg Reed is worried about Barry Jackass and the Herald. You got your priorities all screwed up in this place. But like I said, don't forget, I don't care. I'm not getting excited about it. I just mentioned these things in passing. Like Lee J. Cobb said in The Exorcist, I just mentioned it in passing. Answer the question, Father Paranoia. Boy, was he great. Was he great or what? Lee J. Cobb. Almost as good as his brother Cornama. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
The Sopranos, it's called.
Sopranos, thank you. I haven't watched it yet.
What about?
It's going to be such a long, boring summer. Look at all the good stuff. I got to watch the Shawshank Redemption, all the Sopranos episodes. It'll kill some good time.
When the mob was running things, you never had girls under 18. Now that all these cops and stuff are running things.
That's right.
Now
It's
they got
just like marijuana being sold out there on the streets. God only knows what's in it. If they would legalize it and clean it up, then you wouldn't have any problem with it. Same with prostitution.
Exactly. But they got a bunch of young guys running this shit from the cops, and they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Okay, thanks for the good news. Running the ship, he said. Ship with a P. Well, I hope it's not a cruise ship because it might have gambling on it. I think he said ship. 567-0560. Well, you can't tell, okay? And what the hell difference does it make anyway? It's just a bunch of, anyway. What difference does it make what he said? Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Morning, Neil. How are you?
Pretty good, sir.
Sounded like that guy was just snoring for a meal.
Yeah, yeah.
The book that had the Vatican exposure about the Vatican banking and the mob.
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
In God We Trust by David Yallop. Or In God's Name, something like that. David Yallop, Y-A-L-L-O-P.
Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it.
Okay, and have a great day, sir. There you go. There's no Vatican banking scandal, was there? Yeah. Don't get me started again about the whole thing. Oh, I got to tell you a great story. I'm in Eckerd's last night buying fish food. because I was so aggravated about Ma. Well, that's a good excuse. See, at least I admit it. I admit when I'm eating this other crap. I don't want her sneaking it into my food, pretending that she's doing the right thing. And then always acting, oh, I only gave him 4,000 crackers. Whoever heard of giving crackers to a dog? Soda crackers. I think she is crackers. So anyway, I'm in Eckerd's last night, which I hate Eckerd's, by the way, but nevertheless, I get picking up a couple of things. And there's a young guy in there at the picking up his film, at the film counter, and he kind of like gives me a nod, and I come over, and he says, yeah, I really enjoy your show, even though I'm Catholic. Young guy, about 20, Give him about a 5 on a Richter scale, not a bad guy, in the middle of, he's all right. But a nice guy, but he says, what? No, don't get started with this, okay? There's more to life than just looking good, okay? There's more to life. You can't do that. You're born with that. You didn't do anything to achieve that. It's not because you're such a great guy that all of a sudden you'll look good. You happen to be, you're okay, fair, But, God, people that look good don't run around beating everybody over the head with it, okay? Guys who look like ordinary, like this kid, he might have been a good guy, and at least he said to me, even though I'm Catholic, and I said, I wondered to myself, what does he mean by that? I'll bet you anything. We got plenty of Catholics. In fact, every Hispanic who listens to the show is a Catholic, by birth at least, anyway. Are there any Jewish Cubans out there, like maybe 1 or 2 listening to the show? No. Protestants?
No.
Episcopalian?
No.
There's plenty of Catholics listening to this show. We got Irishmen. They're Catholics, huh? They're looking at. What the hell's this guy talking about? But he was a good guy, and I appreciate whatever he said. 5670560, pound 560. Even though I'm Catholic, I still get a great kick out of your show. It's very humorous, but quit picking on us. So let's pick on the Orthodox Jews today.
Boy.
There you go. Crazy bastards. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was down at that commission meeting. The biggest joke of all was sitting right back up there again as Merritt Steerheim.
Right. Yeah, he left town after he screwed us over the first time with the Metro Rail. Yep. He left town a few years. Now he comes back, and he's shilling again. And by the way, Merritt Steerheim was one of the people that helped to kill the Junior Pan American Games by insisting on that letter promising us that there would be no Cuban athletes. Merritt Steerheim, you're a suckhole. You're a disgrace.
Well, I got up there, and I said, Merritt, you promised us that deficit on this thing would be $25 million, and you screamed bloody murder when Friedman said it'd be $50 to $100 million.
Right.
And it came out to be $125 million.
Right.
You promised us 900 buses, we got 500 now.
Right.
He's the biggest liar that we've ever
That's right.
seen.
And that's why he's back here again. We love liars.
And for every rider that rides Metro Mover downtown, we subsidize them $2,000 a year, and they want to spread this thing all over Dade County. They're nuts.
And by the way, keep in mind the reason that the Herald was in favor of it in the first place is because where does it go? To downtown. Right downtown there by One Herald Plaza. That's right.
That's right. And boy, the Herald really manipulated, and they're going to try to manipulate it again.
That's right.
That's unbelievable. I'm glad you're talking about it.
Okay, and God bless Richard Friedman, even with a bad hairpiece.
You bet.
Thanks.
Oh!
Okay, I hope the cops are listening, by the way. City of Miami, Miami-Dade, Miami Beach. Check it out, okay? She's at least 15.
Tell me that you love my eyes, but I know that you keep on checking out my thighs.
All right.
Don't blame you 'cause I'm very cute. Check out my breath, they're poking on my looks at you.
Oh!
You come on to me and whisper things in my ear, and it sounds soft, but if you wanna dig me, move slow. There's things about me I don't think you know. I'm underage.
Oi!
17. You should be scared of me, 'cause you could go to jail if you sleep with me. If I scream, you end up praising me. She looks 25, but she's just a teen. Perfect teeth, I bet my lips are sweet. Daddy called the cops last night. My breasts are perfect to see because I've had surgery. None of my skirts reach my knees. My butt just hangs right out of my shorts.
Rectum.
She's underage. Jailbait. You should be scared of her. Scared of me? Rolling Stones brand later than dynamite. Put aside, she's looking mighty fine. She looks 25, but she's just a teen.
Yeah, I wonder how many cops we got here in South Florida banging 15 and 16-year-old girls down here in Kendall and wherever else. Nobody seems to be concerned about that the least bit. But yeah, and you think that instead of way back buried on page 5B today in the Sun Sentinel, and nowhere is there a follow-up in the Herald, you think that maybe somebody might be concerned about these things? Huh? Maybe no, nobody cares. Okay, that's good to know. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Don't forget we got the Marlins and the Mets. Big game of 105 today, and we had one guy actually call and say he was going to listen to it. There you go. That's a start. You have to build slow. You have to build with something. We got one guy. He likes Alex Fernandez and his big fat ass. He likes the Marlins. He's going to be listening. He's glued to his radio. Anybody else?
No.
Any takers?
No.
Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Listen, I'm Roman Catholic. I listen to your show.
Oh my God, another Catholic.
I don't have a problem with it. The only thing I have a problem with is all the food intensive because I used to be a big fat ass.
There's no facts in the church.
Yeah.
When I hear all the fish food talk, it makes my blood just boil because I want some, but I know better now.
Makes your blood sugar rise just hearing about it. That's what happens to me.
Listen, I went to dinner last night at a place. It's called Here Comes the Sun. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been there.
That's a health food place.
Yeah, it's good.
Years ago, yeah.
And anyhow, so I'm sitting there with my girlfriend at dinner, because that's where she wants to go. And all of a sudden, this guy and this girl come in, and the girl's wearing like a bright blue suit, and I look up for my food, and she's got like this big clown face, So I realize, oh, this is someone from TV, like a TV newswoman.
Right.
I look over at who's sitting with her, and guess who? Squatting on a map.
Rick Sanchez?
Rick Sanchez?
Yeah.
So I say, honey, remember the story about the guy and the dolphin game and he hit somebody and he won the coma and the whole big thing and now the guy's dead?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. I'm like, that's him. And I'm like, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to ask him if that guy's still in a coma. And she's like, if you do, I'm not going to talk to you for 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. If I was a homo, I said to her, not only would I get to say it, but my boyfriend will whoop.
Okay, it's, he had a point though. 567. He said that the Knicks suck is what he said. He said they're sucking something specific, which we probably can't say. I didn't know they had a player named Dick on San Antonio. Hey, San Antonio gave the bone to the Knicks is basically what he said. 567-0560, pound 560. And speaking of Rick Sanchez, that's a great segue into the story that was in the paper today. And Tom Jicka, you and Terry Jackson and all these other experts out there, if you would listen to me, when I was on Whammy and we were getting those Nielsen ratings until Matty Lesher made sure we didn't get them anymore because they were too embarrassing. And I told you about the whole thing. You look at those Nielsen's day, those overnights day after day, and you see this unbelievably warped representation. There's like about half of they only have 400 households in Dade and Broward hooked up to these Nielsen meters, and about half of them are in Hispanic, no spigot Inglés homes where the channel 23 and 51 are on all day, morning, noon, and night. What did I tell you? You haven't got a Chinaman's chance if you don't speak Hispanic in this town. So Channel 7 says, we're not going to subscribe to Nielsen anymore. We're, our agencies can get the ratings anyway. We're not going to subsidize this crap because the skewing in this market is so ethnically unbalanced and so inaccurate that why should we subsidize it like a death wish? And some of the other channels may be going to jump on the bandwagon too. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be? Yeah, because Nielsen sucks. And I told you that over a year ago, Tom Jicka, and you had the balls to write just a little bit about it one time, and then that was the end of it. That was it. And it's not just because I had crappy ratings on Whammy, because who the hell could watch that show anyway, or that station, but nevertheless, you can tell right up front when you look at those Channel 23 ratings especially, that, most of the things are hooked up at, in the houses where all they're doing is that. That's all they're doing, 24 hours a day. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Born and raised Roman Catholic.
Oh, my God.
Little diabetic coma Ben & Jerry's spy report for you.
Yes, sir.
Have you tried the s'mores bar?
No.
I've not liked any of the confections that Ben & Jerry's puts out. I love their ice cream, but when they put it into a bar form or a treat,
right,
they just lose something.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing, it rivals fish food.
Really?
It's called the s'mores bar. It's a chocolate and marshmallow over a graham cracker, and then they cover the thing all with chocolate.
Oh!
I actually have a half a pint of fish food in my freezer, and I've been bypassing it to go to these s'mores bars.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
It'll put you in a coma.
I'm going to have to feed some of that to my mother.
They're about $40.
She likes sugar, by the way, in case you missed out. She likes sugar.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, thanks for the good news.
Sure.
Okay, and don't be a schmorer. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. We got 600 open lines here today. That old fart with that Ruth's Chris story. See, when you go into Ruth's Chris, you'll notice the median age in there is 100. Although at least this isn't the crowd that has their teeth in a glass on the table, not yet. But that's because it's an expensive joint, and there aren't too many young punks out there who are willing to spend that kind of money for a meal. So the median demographic in there is fairly high. The only young punks in there are the ones that I'm buying dinner for. Those are the young punks. And they, oh, this is pretty good. Yeah, it always tastes better when somebody else buys, by the way. Oh! That's what Rimmer says. 567-0560, pound 560 on our mobile one line. Not one person cares about these cops. And now the story you can tell is already, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to be mushrooming because every neighbor, everybody in that area says, oh yeah, there are all kinds of cops here, morning, noon, and night in this, yeah. Maybe they're just coming to babysit. Maybe that's what they were doing in their spare time. Nobody cares. Here's Delray Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, speaking of great restaurants, do you remember the Unicorn Village?
Yes.
I saw you there one day. Anyway,
are they still around?
I don't know. But I'm dying to know.
They moved several years ago to I'm trying to think of where the hell it was. Some strip, I think 199th and Biscayne, whatever that shopping center was there. Maybe it was Aventura, maybe it was some other one by Aventura, but they moved a long time ago.
Oh, that's
never heard another word about them.
That was excellent.
Yeah, it was good.
Listen, public service announcement, Neil. Cell phones and people driving, they ought to make it mandatory to put your phone number on the bumper of your car, so you can call these assholes and tell them they can't drive. First of all,
right.
Second of all,
I had one of those. I had one of those this morning.
I saw a car flip outside my warehouse 2 days ago. Idiot's on the phone, trying to make a left-hand turn, looking right, talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Flips his car, ties up traffic on Congress for about 2 hours.
All right.
Just assholes, man. And in closing, can I call somebody a douchebag?
Yes, sir.
All right, Krusty the Clown and Bob Bastard, douchebag.
Okay, 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. We're out of here 105 today, and it looks to me like that's a good thing, you know. I think thank God for that. This crusty old fart that calls about 20 minutes ago. Oh, you talked about so many interesting things today. Now let me tell you about my crappy meal at Ruth Chris. Sir, you're so typical of what's wrong with it down here. You're the epitome of this whole area. Walking death. And you want to make sure that all the rest of us have as miserable of a time as you're having. And by the way, have another drink while you're at it, too. You crusty old fart. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I'm another Catholic who religiously listens to you.
That's 3 so far. We haven't exactly had a big run on Catholics here since I mentioned about that kid in Eckerd last night, but we might get up to about a dozen by the end of the day.
And a confession to you, I do listen to the Marlins games.
Okay, all right, here's number 2. Oh! 3 Catholics, 2 Marlins fans, a partridge in your pear tree.
One more thing. I know you don't care much for Bettman, but isn't he a heck of a lot better than Ziegler was?
No. Gary Bettman is the worst thing to happen to hockey in history. The worst.
I thought Ziegler was one of the worst.
Now, let me say it again. This man is the worst. When they walk into the sausage shop, they always look at him and say, there's the worst right there. He is pathetic. He's an embarrassment. He's destroying our sport.
You'd rather have Ziegler back?
I'd rather have anybody. I'd rather have Ron Ziegler from the White House. I'd rather have anybody back.
Okay, so he's worse than the baseball guy?
He's worse than the baseball guy. That's right. That Bud Light, yeah.
Yeah,
I know what it is.
The top things. Not that I don't care. It just happens. So, I mean, it's just typical South Florida.
Have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Whatever you said. I know Bud Light, who also, by the way, has no conflict of interest owning the Brewers, by the way. Thank God for that. I know my crap, and that's what it is. It's a bunch of crap. We got police officers here banging 16-year-old hookers, running a prostitution ring in Kendall, and these people are worried about goddamn Bud Selig and Gary goddamn Bettman, that little Jew. When are you people going to get with it? And you know something? The answer is never. You're never going to get with it. That's why this crap goes on here forever and ever. And that's why Mayor Penis and his henchmen will put over another goddamn penny sales tax on the 29th of July when everybody's out of town. And they'll have more Metro Rail Part 2. Because nobody gives a crap. The only people involved here are the one in their spare time and are not playing dominoes in Domino Park. They're the ones that are running the guide and pulling the strings in this place. Here's a call from Marathon. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
I'd just like to change the subject just a quick second and ask you a question. Maybe I've led a real naive life.
Yes, you have.
Okay. You go into a restroom, okay? You have your standard, flushing toilets, not the ones with the tank on them. But
you're looking for glory holes.
Yeah.
Okay. The handle on the back, do you use your foot or your hand to flush with?
You're really joking me, aren't you, sir?
I'm telling you.
You use your foot.
Office, I gotta ask
you use your foot on the handle to flush the toilet?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm asking. I'm not saying.
I use my hand.
Right. How about the flush?
I always have used my hand.
Yeah.
I thought that was like the civilized way.
Yeah.
A couple of days ago, I noticed some scuff marks on the wall, and I mentioned it. And
people are doing it with their shoes. They're flushing those things?
Yes.
No way. No
Yes.
way. Only Cubans who are like banana boat people do stuff like that.
And the women in the office.
And the women are doing this too?
Yes, because we had
with their high heels? They're scuffing
and
it?
they said, no, I never put my hand on the toilet. I never put my hand on that handle. I always use my foot to flush.
And I wonder when they're at home, when they have like a regular a flush toilet at home, if they put their foot way up on the handle on that and flush it too with their foot.
They said they flushed that with their hand.
Oh, well, that's promising. That's a good start.
Yeah, but I just couldn't. I was like,
sir, in my life, this is the first time. I mean, I'm so glad you brought this up because in all the years that I've lived, I've never heard of anybody, man, woman, child, or simpleton, flushing a toilet with their foot.
This is the first on me, and I'm like, look, I'm 43 years old, okay?
Yeah, I'm 56, and I've been all over the world. I never heard of anybody flushing a toilet with their foot.
Neither have I, and I'm so glad I was able to get that cleared
up. And if they're that concerned about it, why don't they put on some rubber gloves before they sit down? Then they don't have to worry about getting any of the germs on their hands.
Oh, that goes into a whole nother. That goes into
another hole, right?
Right.
Okay,
well, Neil,
thanks for bringing this up. I think you made my week. God bless you, sir, and have a great day.
You're looking for glory holes.
Woo! Flushing with a foot. And you're looking at me like, what's wrong with that? You do that. You're telling me that you flush a toilet like that, like the one in the men's room here with your foot?
You don't know what foreign substances are on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
People take poops.
And you probably also wash your hands after you take a leak.
Of course.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Well, in your case, I can understand it. 27 after 11 at 560 WQAM. Is there any hope at all? No, I just give up.
A la guataquería.
Well, when you come to my house, every time you ask to use the toilet, and that's fine. But when you're done, you always leave behind a very special gift to you. That's a surprise. When you got your eyes, you can show a little time. Just remember to flush. Well, the liver on the tank is what you pull for a courtesy flush when getting full. But when it's my turn to lift the seat, your lumbering first I want to see. You took your number, started now, don't leave me broken hearted. Just remember to flush.
I'm thinking about European toilets. European. No, seriously, and they have like some of them. There are many different kinds. They have like a thing on the wall above the toilet, like a plastic thing that you push, you shove it, and the lever too. And then some of those on the top of the tank, there's like a metal thing that you push, and it's right on top of the tank. I'm trying to think if there are any of the ones that I've ever seen in Europe that have the thing on the side. I don't think so. And then, for example, in Toronto this last weekend, in the hotel I was staying in, on the toilets in the rooms on the side, there's like a metal thing on the side that you have to push. You couldn't, unless you're a contortionist, you couldn't possibly get in there and hit that with your foot. Oh, here we go. Here's a foot flusher. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I kick the handle too. I don't touch that thing.
You kick it with your foot?
With my feet.
All these years I've been doing that with my hand in the flushing too.
No. You know which one I like? Once you finish taking a leak,
yeah,
you put it inside. It's automatically,
Oh yeah,
by himself.
Right. Oh yeah. They even have regular toilets. You can do both. They have ones like that too. Where it's a sensor, and when you get up off the seat, it automatically flushes.
Yeah. I kick it all the time. I never touch that thing.
Okay. Thanks for the good news. I might have to re-examine my whole life now. Okay. I may have to, although this guy sounded Latin too. I think it's a Hispanic thing, just like the old Cuban women that put the toilet paper in that little box to save it for a rainy day. Yeah, George is always telling those stories about Grandma, and I think about his evil mother, too. I think she probably does it. She's probably got a whole house full of crap. Here's Isla Morada. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
A little Ben and Jerry's trivia for you. I don't know if you knew this, but Wavy Gravy was the MC at Woodstock.
Right, that's correct.
And Fish Food,
right.
This girl just told me
That's
was
with
the
a PH.
name of a group that you were supposed to follow after you weren't a deadhead anymore.
Right.
After Jerry.
PHISH, right.
Right. Oh, I'd never heard of them or anything. I didn't know if you knew that or
They
not.
were a West Coast group. They were like a San Francisco group.
Still haven't heard of them. I'd like to hear their music. If Ben and Jerry's, if the Grateful Dead was that bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, Neil, I don't know if you still have the bit with one pill looks like Wilma.
One pill looks like what?
Wilma.
I'll
One
look for
pill
it.
looks like Fred.
Yeah.
Love to hear it.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great day. What the hell is that called? That's with the, what is that called? With Grace Slick. I'll find it. Somebody will know. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. What the hell is that damn thing called? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Nels.
Yes, sir.
Was that Harvey Firestein?
Yes.
Anyways.
It was Harvey.
Coming straight from Fire Island.
Marvelous, yeah.
You know, Neil, I can't believe these pigs who are the ones that are so adamant to take away our freedom to, purchase drugs that are only going to affect our own bodies. They're the ones that are out whoring little 15-year-old girls. I guess they get there before the hair, out in Kendall somewhere.
Yeah, in fact, that's the new slogan of the Dade County Police, get there before the hair.
And I wouldn't be surprised if half of those guys were Julios, if not more than half.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dade County, I would say probably like 95% of them probably are. Although this one guy, what the hell is this guy? Greg Priest, he don't look like no Julio to me.
Yeah. I just can't, am I the first guy who's calling in response to this?
What is it?
Am I the first to call in response to this?
Yes.
This is unbelievable.
Isn't that incredible? And like I said, it's buried on page 5B in the Sun Sentinel. There's no follow-up at all. There's no story in the Herald today whatsoever. And like I said, the investigation is broadening. They're finding out all kinds of cops are probably involved in this, and nobody seems to give a crap. But the Herald's worried about there may be, gambling going on those ships.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've come across that same ad, like looking through the New Times. It's been there forever. Anyways, I was looking yesterday through this tourism guide. This is going to make you laugh.
Were they good? Okay, go ahead.
It was like saying about all the good dining spots down here, like steakhouses.
Yeah.
Okay, number one, of course, they announced Ruth's Chris. Guess who number 2 and 3 were? Rascal House and Wolfie's.
Oi! Thanks for the good news.
All right, Neil, hey,
Yeah.
give the Knicks the bone. They're a bunch of pricks.
Okay. What is the name of that thing that I want to hear? God damn, see, now I'm going to get upset. Now I'm going to get aggravated because I can't. I know if George were here, which, see, there's one thing we needed George for. Nothing else, actually, but just that. Now, don't feel bad, George. Although JP is doing a great job. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. What the hell is that damn thing called? Somebody in this audience must know, goddammit. Haven't played that in about 400 years. Here's a mobile in South Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
Great.
I got a funny story on Rick Sanchez. I had a friend that worked at Miami Airport who was friends with one of the pilots of the Channel 7 helicopter.
Yeah.
And they were taking Rick to a location in the helicopter, and he had fallen asleep against the window. So there were 2 other people in the helicopter, and they decided that on the count of 3, the pilot would turn the helicopter so that Rick would be facing down to the ground, and they would scream.
Mm-hmm.
They did it on the count of 3. Rick pissed his pants.
Really? Squirt, squirt. I love it.
That's great.
Great. Okay,
That's all
thanks
I
for the
got.
good news. He was squatting on it, and he just lost control. I wonder if he flushed the lever with his foot or his hand afterward, by the way. You know what I'm talking about, Rick?
I already have a homosexual relationship with Neil, so I might as well have one with you, too.
567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Fort Lauderdale, a lady.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. How are you?
Great.
Can I change the subject from toilet talk?
Anything you want. This is, your show.
Okay.
You believe that?
Guiding light. Michelle's husband.
Uh-huh. Danny.
Why do I keep thinking he looks like, now I know the time frame is wrong, he looks like the guy in Godfather 3 that brayed like a donkey for Eli Wallach?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
He does.
Never thought about that before, but you're right.
Yeah, well, because I
mean, the storyline is getting so ridiculous now. It just, I keep watching it. I can't tell you why.
I know. I do the same thing because it's habit.
I'm just hoping that maybe Bill comes on every now and then.
Yeah.
As long as, huh?
I see figured that.
He sure got a hell of a lot better looking, didn't he? As long as he doesn't speak. When he speaks, then those runaway S's start floating all over the place, and I can get a little nervous for him. But he sure looks good anyway,
You're right. What did they say? It takes words to know one.
Well, they had to put somebody pretty on the show after they took the old Michelle away and put this bitch on it.
Oh, she's terrible.
Oh.
She really
And you are aware that she originally played the young Reva
clone.
Yeah, she was the young clone.
I remember.
Oh.
I remember.
God.
Okay, Neil, it was nice talking to you. I'm going to go zig at Godfather tape, and I'm going to go through the tape.
Yeah, you're right. I can remember it like it was only yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, and say hi to Eli. Tell him finish those cannolis
Isn't he
fast.
dead?
Tell him finish. I sure hope so. Have a great day.
You too, dear.
That's our poll question. Oh, okay, here we go. The nephew just brought in the new schedule for next week. Let's hear it. We know the program director must be working like over a hot typewriter, over a hot computer in the other room on his $15.95 desk. Because we got the schedule for next week. Now we can live. Let's see. What do we got today? Do we got Hank today? No, Hank's off today. Nice going there, Humper. Because we got a stupid Marlin game on. Boy, who the hell would anybody want to follow that? No, but Josh Darrow will follow it because what does he care? He'll be on after the game. Then Mad Dog Mandit 6 to 10. Yeah. Ed Kaplan with the GA show 10 o'clock tonight.
Holy cow, Aaron's coming.
And now, here's Grace Slick for Flintstone Vitamins.
One pill looks like Barney, and one pill shaped like bread.
Hi, boys and girls. I'm Gracie Slick. You know, when I was on the road with Jefferson Airplane in the 60s, I chased a lot of white rabbits, and I usually chased them with scotch. Hey, but I don't get high anymore. Now I like to get Flintstones. I just drop a couple of Betty's or Dino's before a concert, and soon I'm getting a buzz on vitamins and minerals, just like that modern Stone Age family down the street. Now, when the white knight is talking backwards, I know my turntable's probably just in reverse. So when the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, tell them you're going for some Flintstone vitamins.
And remember what Wilma said. Eat your bread. Eat your bread.
11:45 at 560 WQAM. That's Flintstone Vitamins for the benefit of anybody who wants to ask for it in about 6 months when we play it again. Yeah, here's a good point. It says, lay off your mom or she'll shoot you in the neck, signed a Catholic foot flusher. You know, I guess I'm the only guy in the world that's been flushing with my hand on those things. Jesus Christ, I better go wash them off right now. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. I must confess, I must be very naive in my entire life. I not only never did that, but I never heard of anybody who did. Never heard of any person, any man, woman, or child who flushed one of those handle flushes on the side of a public toilet with their foot. Never heard of such a thing. It's incomprehensible to me. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
If it's a pretty smarmy place, I won't touch it.
Yeah.
Just do it with the foot.
You
But
want to touch
otherwise,
it?
sure,
What
no
about the
problem.
handle? Yeah.
You never, I guess, because you know, a lot of people
Well,
like.
how smarmy can it be? I mean, what kind of joints are you hanging out in? I must be hanging out in the wrong places. I don't know.
Well, not all the time. You know, you go to a restaurant.
I've been in
you
some
know,
pretty
it's
smarmy
maybe a
joints in
nice
my
thing
life, and I
to
never
go
saw
to.
any place that was that filthy where I thought, oh, gee, I'm not going to touch that with my hand.
Or you know, it's like if you're on a trip and you have to stop somewhere somehow and just deposit something real quick.
Yeah.
And then again, yeah, it's a place to do it.
There's a good lesson for all you kids out there. Just make your deposit to the bank. It's the only safe place to do it.
Oh yeah, one question. Thank you very much for putting your bits on your website where we can listen to, where people
Right.
have to bug you all the time
Mm-hmm.
to play things. But on Phil's site, how do you record off the internet? Because he's dropping some things on there pretty recent, or pretty good to listen to.
How do you record off the internet?
Yeah.
Well, you can download stuff onto this, but I mean, when you say can you record like onto something else, I haven't got any idea.
Okay, yeah, because he's doing a couple bits like he did one for Britney Spears.
Right.
If George can ever edit it down, or if you have
Well, better
long
than that,
bathroom
he could probably send it to us. It would be a lot better than that. Better quality.
Okay. 'Cause
That's the least he can do for us after we raised him $20,000 for his charity last year.
Yeah, because also said on his Shuck and Drive website that he's going to be doing 97, 98, and 99 in a box set
Right.
when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And also he hyperlinks to your website, too.
Right. Okay,
Okay.
we'll ax him.
Okay.
See ya.
Thanks.
567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. This is just a pregame show. It's an extension of it because that big pregame starts at 1:05, and then, of course, the Marlins and the Mets at 1:30. That's going to be a barn burner. We already got 2 people who are going to listen to that thing. How do you like that? Oh! Don't feel bad, Greg. We already got 2 suckers out there that promise they're going to be tuned in. That's a start. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm a cop here in Dade County.
Yes, sir.
And we are running some writing some tickets, listening to what you had to say. It was pretty funny.
Right.
But hey, those guys make us all look bad. We're all not like that. We're all nice guys, man. It's just a small percentage that are jerks.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with some young stuff every now and then.
No, that's what I was waiting for. That's why I just sat here waiting for the truth to come out.
As long as it's not too
14?
young.
Huh?
As long as it's not too young, they're barely legal stuff.
What would you say would be the barrier? I mean, this girl was 16, and we don't know about the other ones, but what would be the lower barrier?
Oh, 18, 19.
18?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's legal.
Yeah, as long as it's legal, that's all that matters.
Okay, thank you, sir. I would agree with that. See, that's the way I look at it. Of course, I'm not looking at no girls, but nevertheless. No, see, he was kind of non-committal there. I thought he was going to actually come up with something revolutionary there, and then he said like 18. And by the way, I hate to break the news to you, and I don't think you're ready for it, okay? The legal age. And of course, we're talking prostitution here, which if any of the rest of you do it, forget about the age, you go straight to jail. But the legal age for consensual sex acts in Canada is 14. In, let's see, I'm trying to think. In Italy, it's 14. Most of the Western European countries, it's like 14 or 15. Which I still would say is a little bit too young. I think like 16 is a good demarcation point. I think anybody reasonable could agree that once you become 16, you can decide for yourself where you're going to stick this and whether you're going to do it with your foot or your hand. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. That's what Roy said. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil. You have a wonderful show.
Yes, I do.
Listen to you every day.
Oh, I do too.
Great. Just a couple things. I like to play. Like to get a shameless request at Superman 4.
Uh-huh.
And
how about Superman
one
5?
Other thing. I know you're gonna love this. Let's go Spurs. Let's go Spurs. Love you, Neil.
Okay. Yeah, I think that thing's all over with. We don't have to worry about that no more. They got to go through the formality one more game and get that behind us. For example, this morning on the morning show, they were talking about Alex Fernandez and the Marlins. When I got in the car, they were talking about it. I played about 20 minutes of music. I pulled a CD out. They're still talking about it. I come into the building. They're still talking about it. And so finally, they go into one of their 17-minute commercial breaks, and I went and said to them, how come whose idea was this? And Geldy says, what else are we going to talk about? And I thought, gee, don't say that on the air. I'll say it for you.
What else could we talk about, goddammit?
But then I found out it was Bifo that brought up that Alex Fernandez thing. And I can understand why. I told him right to his face. I said, you just want to talk about it because you're trying to find somebody that's fatter than you are, Bifo. Oh, this guy is ballooning up. I'm telling you, if Mrs. Bifo's listening right now, Betty, don't be like my mother killing him with kindness, okay? She's killing my animals with kindness, her neighbors with kindness. She's killing me with hidden sugar. Taking mandel bread to diabetics who are losing the feeling in their legs. Nice going, Millie. Oh! And then she sticks her next door neighbor, Ira, into calling here so we can suck up some more free mandel bread. You're still not getting any, Ira. How do you like that? It's about the third time he's tried to pull that over the years. Call up, suck it up on his show, so I'll put in a good word so she might give him some more of that free mandel bread. You're out, Ira. You're not getting any. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Johnny Dark.
Okay, thank you. That was worth waiting 5.5 minutes for. You know something? If I had 5.5 minutes of spare time, then I would wait on hold to do that. I would blow my brains out first. In fact, it's still not too late, pal. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Delray Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
Not only do I use my foot to flush, I also double line the toilets and use a napkin to open up the door.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
There's nothing more disgusting than a public toilet.
Okay. Okay, I don't know how I made it this long. You know, I'm finally getting a lesson in life. Now, the business about washing your hand after you take a leak, that I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. That to me is what that tells me is that you've got a dirty, you know what I'm saying? See, if I'm not concerned about sanitation in my is that filthy, I'll wash my hands before. Do you know what I'm saying? If I really were concerned about my own personal sanitation to that extent that it was like a fetish, I wash my hands before I would touch it, not afterward. Because you're holding newspapers and change and bills and all kind of, God only knows what you got in your hand. So before you touch your most prized part, yeah, then you wash your hands first. And if your part is clean the way it should be, then you don't have to worry about anything like that. And thanks, by the way, to our close personal friend Brad over at Tony's for another lunch. Tony's going to be out of business in about a week if we keep doing all these free lunches. Thanks, Brad. You're a hell of a guy. God bless you, gentlemen. What are you laughing about? We like the free food. Okay, Tony's, which is in 441 on 193rd, am I right? Right down the street from us? Right over there by Potamkin. Let's get all the names on here, okay? And maybe someday we'll get some new copy from some of our salespeople, but I sure doubt that. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Oh, by the way, for those people who keep a diary about this show, who have their own personal diary because they're so obsessed with this show, let me just tell you. Let me look in the file here for a minute. It's the 24th of June. It's now going on 2 weeks after the tirade from Todd Dreck. Do we have any new copy for that account he was so concerned about?
No.
That he wanted another goddamn air check for?
No.
No. Just looking. Is there one new word on that sheet of paper?
No.
Huh? Anything new?
No.
Any new ideas?
No.
Approaches?
No.
Phone numbers?
No.
Anything? Huh?
No.
Thank you. Nice going, Todd. I'm going to tell you, there are so many people in this place who would have been out on the street a long time ago, any place else. And that's the effing truth right there. I was starting to say, like in a real radio station, in any radio station, so many of these people would have had their asses out on the street a long time ago. But it's QAM, and so our motto is, yeah. There you go. Greg's running around hyperventilating about Barry Jackass. He's obsessed with Barry Jackass. I wouldn't be surprised if, Greg Reed winds up having Barry Jackass's baby pretty soon, the way he's carrying on about it. Maybe that's why he returns his phone calls. Maybe they're having like hot and heavy little phone sex or something like that, him and Barry. You know what I'm talking about?
My name is Barbarella.
Okay, Barry, calm down. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. It's 11:56 at QM. We got only another hour and 10 minutes to go, and then it's ball game pregame.
Oh!
Whatever, no matter what we do about it, it's coming whether you like it or not. Yeah, these people that have to put down 12 layers of toilet paper on the seat, and they have to do all these other hermetic. I mean, come on already, okay? How filthy can somebody's rectum be? Well, now that you mention it. Speaking of that, how about Dry Concepts? That's a good segue. They're not going to clean your rectum. They'll sure clean all the other crap that's on your carpets.
WQAM, Miami,
Coming soon to a theater near you. Christopher Reeve is Superman 5.
Help! Superman, quick! Jimmy Olsen is drowning!
Hey, here comes Superman. Here he comes. He's in a wheelchair.
Hurry up, Superman!
Okay, where's Jimmy? Too late.
Yeah, they ought to call you Super Gimp.
Get out of here, you freak!
Oh, Clark. Nothing's happening. Get on top of me.
Okay.
Ow!
I, the evil Zod, have finally figured out a way to defeat Superman.
With kryptonite?
No, steps. Superman 5, the search for a bigger doorway, rolling into a theater near you.
So like I said, Tony's is at 19329 Northwest 2nd Avenue, not on 441. I better get it right, okay, mister? Is that all right? Please. Thank you. 1201 at 560 WQAM. And by the way, whoever is faxing me all this information about the toxic stuff at Killian High, stop! Enough of the faxing already, you maniac. This person must be certifiable. Either that or he got too much of the toxic stuff and it went to his brain. Page after page after page after page. Enough already. What am I going to do about it anyway, okay? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. This guy is faxing me copies of test results from places that I can't even talk about.
Rectum.
Yeah, there too. Enough already. Here's Miami. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, no, you were talking earlier about all those people, the hypocrites in the newspapers. They had a story in New Times a few months ago about escort services and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, but we don't have any ads for escorts in our newspaper.
Who said that?
The ad in the article in the New Times.
Yeah, right.
They were saying they don't have any ads for escort services.
Yeah, likely story. Well, not legal ones anyway.
How about all the other escort services in there? Those are legal or what?
No. Well, I mean, it all depends. An escort service technically is, what's to escort somebody is to go to lunch with them, go to dinner with them,
right?
go to dinner, go to a nice show, screw their brains out, little
right.
head.
No, I want to call Glenn a douchebag.
Okay. Escort this. 5670560, pound 560. Oh, I think it finally stopped. Thank God. Oh, I feel so much better now that fax stopped already from that maniac. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, first-time caller.
All right.
That previous guy that you had on the phone there, it's the Broward edition of New Times that doesn't do the escort service. Dade continues to do that. Just want to clarify that, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now, the other thing is that that Sam Kinison guy had a whole routine about flushing the toilet with your foot back in the 80s.
Yeah.
He also, with the same routine he did if you were dead, we were being sodomized, it's in that same vein, so you go on and check that out.
Mm-hmm.
So he was into that for when he was alive, he used to make a joke about that.
Yeah, he looked like he was into that, yeah. Okay, thanks for the good news. So in other words, if you're going to sodomize Sam Kinison's body, do it with your foot is what he's saying. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Marlins baseball, baby. Oh! Coming up. Are you ready? Huh? You ready for it?
No.
Come on. Get with it. They got to win one someday, don't they?
No.
Here's a lady on her way to Vegas. Hello. Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Just wanted to say I'm going to Vegas today for the first time, and because of you, I'm going to stay at the MGM Grand and go to Emerald's and Ruth Chris, and I look forward to winning.
You'll have a great time. You'll lose your ass, but you'll have a great time.
Oh, no, don't say that. Wish me luck.
I wish you luck, but
hey,
you won't lose
I
your
drive
ass.
to Aventura every day.
Didn't you
so
read
if
what
I can survive that, I can survive Vegas.
Didn't you read what the Herald said? You better take a look at that editorial before you go out there and lose all your hard-earned money.
I know,
about
I'm
these
going to burn in hell, too,
these
when
parasitic
I get back.
enterprises. Good luck,
Where's
sweetheart.
the risk?
And if you win big, remember me.
Of course. Thank you, darling.
Okay. And
Bye.
flush with your foot. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. I mean, even a child could pick up this editorial in the Herald today, and they would go, yeah, not like that. State government may not be able to rid Florida of these parasitic enterprises. See, at least they changed their verbiage a little bit from the days they were writing about how the paramutuals, they extract the money gently from your wallet. Now they're talking about the pace of extracting the money, about how they do it so much faster. You see, do you understand that gambling is bad when you lose money fast? If you lose it slowly, then it's okay. Then it's kosher, and then the Herald approves. But if you lose it too fast, oh boy, then you're in big trouble.
Boy!
I'm serious, man. You people over there, it's one of those deals you don't know whether to laugh or cry. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Tampa. Hello.
Hello, my friend.
Yes, sir.
I always, no matter where I'm at, always flush with my foot.
Oh.
Because I'm afraid that there's a lot of people out there that are like me. Because if I go into a place, man, and like the food's bad or something, I always piss all over that handle. You know what I mean? Just for revenge.
All over on purpose, I see.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
man. And sometimes I can't control it because I'm kind of big.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow.
Yeah, likely stirring.
A little bit of spraying, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But man, I always flush my foot.
Okay, thanks for the good news. 5670560. That was from Tampa, by the way. So what does that tell you?
Scored. He's
probably from Lutz. They pee all over the place, all over the floor, on the seat. And that's another thing, too, by the way, speaking of that. Now, that does disturb me. Disturbs me greatly. Walk into a public restroom, including the ones in here in our building. Now, first of all, we've got a urinal, okay? There's nothing I despise more than guys who take a leak in the sit-down toilets. Well, what's the point of that? Unless you're real nervous or unless you got a real teeny tiny penis. And even I pee at the urinal, and I got a very small penis. So if it's smaller than mine, all I can say is good luck to you. You'll need it. But how come there are these guys peeing all over the seat? I see that all over the goddamn place. There's the plastic toilet seat sitting down on there, and you're about ready to sit down and do some more serious business, because that's what those toilets are for. There's 72 urinals there. That's where you take a leak, okay, guys? Right there at the urinal. That's where you do the peeing job, all right? The other more serious business, inside. In addition to which, are we talking bad aim here?
Uh-huh.
Is that what we're talking about? Really bad aim? Oh, yeah, maybe it's Chinese guys in there, it comes out on an angle,
Scored.
Yeah, on a 45-degree angle, keeps hitting the seat. Maybe that's where they got that old expression when they hits the fan, you know what I'm talking about? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, you spoke about your dogs earlier.
Yes?
What kind of bedwetter stays home to babysit their dog instead of going to the tracks?
Oh, yeah. 567. One that didn't want to lose $100. How you like that, okay? 567-0560, pound 560 on the end. By the way, my dogs don't wet the bed. How do you like that? Here's a mobile in Dania. Hello.
Mobile where?
Too bad the Ramseys don't know. Too bad the Ramseys don't know about that guy. Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
I think the toilet was invented by John Crapper for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's for crapping.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing you got to do, I don't know if anybody does it. After you wash your hands, you got to take the paper towel and open that door.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you know.
Well, how about taking a paper towel and opening it from the outside before you go in, too?
Well,
you can never be too safe. That's what Joan Crawford said. That's what Howard Hughes said.
Never be
That's
too
what
safe.
all those. That's what Michael Jackson says. That's why he wears those gloves, baby.
That's right. Now, here's a unicorn report.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the guy who saw you over there on 6th Avenue,
right?
You were with me, which is very nice. I don't know if you remember who I am, but I'm the one who brought you that medal for saving all the fat asses on the Atkins.
Right.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, they moved over to the waterway shops.
That's what it was, the waterway shops.
Yeah, right. And then he sold the market, the Whole Foods market, the national chain.
Yeah.
Then he just had the restaurant, then he sold the restaurant. He's doing real well now, and he's not really involved in restaurants anymore. So the unicorn restaurant is basically gone.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
Too bad.
Well, that's the way it goes. That's all the good stuff is gone.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay, have a great day.
See ya.
See ya. 9 minutes past noon. We're less than an hour away from that Marlin pregame. You can feel it. You can smell it. Huh? And be sure and flush it with your foot, too, when you're done, by the way. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT. I thought life was so simple, you know. And then when I talk to these assholes, I discover, oh, there's so much more to life than I ever realized. Man, it's so much more complicated. I thought it was pretty simple. Oh, there's a handle, you flush it. Oh, no. Got to go through a whole big song and a dance to do these things right. To protect it. Hey, see you, Tommy. Have a great life.
Beware of exploding balls.
Oh, the Marlins won the series 'cause Wayne Huizenga made big bucks. Believe me when I tell you, now that baseball team really sucks.
Yes.
I feel sorry for Jim Leland. Every time his players start a joke. Believe me when I tell you, now that baseball team is a joke. Wayne Huizenga, he is a major asshole. And you know, every single thing he says is a lie. Wayne Huizenga, he went and cut the payroll, and the chances of winning just died. Now the Marlins say they need a brand new ballpark with a dome. Believe me when I tell you, ooh, they'll have to find another home.
Just get some goodbyes.
Oh, yeah.
12:15 at 560 WQAM. We're only 50 minutes away from that big Marlin pregame show. Anybody ready for it?
No.
No, we are. We're ready. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Whether you like it or not, baby, it's all over. See, but they'll build that new stadium because Mayor Penis, he'll get together with John Henry or with somebody else, and they'll do another one of these deals. They'll have another phony election, and they'll put another 2-cent sales tax in there, and then with public money, they'll, whether we want it or not. Do we want it?
No.
No. But they'll still go ahead and do it. You can mark my words on that. Mark it down, like Wayne said. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Hey, it doesn't have to be a toilet handle, but if I touch anything at all after a fag like you touch it, I won't.
Okay, great, thanks. And thanks for listening, by the way, to the Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I wonder if he touches... I wouldn't touch that, so I guess you don't have to ever worry about that. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil, how are you?
Great.
I'm listening to your show. I got a story for you. You'll love this. I'm at a bar with my son. I walk in the bathroom. I'm standing there, and I see this pee coming onto the floor.
Mm-hmm.
We turn around. There's a guy sitting in the urinal, pissing from the urinal all the way over to the other side to where you stand up to pee. My son thinks it's a riot. He thinks that's a joke. So now every time I go in the bar, he says he wants to try it. So I'm just letting you know, you think you got weird people in this town. I tell you, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
He's peeing from the
Sitting
inside.
down in the taking a crap.
Yeah.
And the pee is coming out straight to the other side of the wall, going into the urinal that you stand up to pee in.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Okay, well, listen, let us know what kind of stuff they're serving in the bar, okay? Anybody believe that story?
No.
No. Do you have any idea how far it is, even in the smallest of toilets, from the sit-down place to the urinals? Anybody got... Huh? This guy must have been a field and stream guy. Field and stream. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, whatever it is. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
A couple quick things. All your debate a couple weeks ago and lately about steaks, I think that on a good day, there's a handful of good steak places, and they all make a good steak. My favorite is Christie's and Coral Gables.
Yeah.
And another one
That's a good place.
and Tuscan Steakhouse. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a small place across the street from China Grill in South Beach.
Never heard.
Really good.
South Beach. I wouldn't go there.
Well, something else related to South Beach.
You gotta wrap yourself in plastic if you go take a leak on South Beach.
Well, I just wore a wetsuit.
That's good. Good thinking.
A spy report, Ricky Martin. He has a little BMW convertible. I think that's one of the cars he drives.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him a few days ago down on the beach, and he had the tiniest, you know those little gay pride strips? It's not actually a flag, but it's just like the colors.
little neon, the rainbow thing, yeah.
Right, it was a tiny one right above
That's
the
what
third.
I heard Ricky's got a tiny one, yeah.
Well, it was a little one right on top of the third brake light, the third hole back there.
Yeah.
On his car.
Yeah, well, at least he had it in the right place. He had it on his rear end.
Rectum.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. As we continue pondering that question, is Ricky, does anybody care?
No.
Enough with him already. Why did he even bring him up again? Oh, geez, right in the middle of my lunch. Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, the toilet thing. I got coworkers where I work at who do that, and we had the regular ones.
Who do what?
Use the foot on the toilet. It's mostly a women thing. You know, the ones that have they have the little small flusher on the front. I have a couple of women coworker where I work at that actually do that with their heel to clump the chain like that.
They have a flusher on the front?
You know, the little thing, the little chain on the front of a normal toilet?
No.
Like what you have at home?
No.
The little thing?
Oh, you're a little handle, you mean?
Yeah, they're able to do that with the heel of their foot.
No.
I'm serious. With
They do the handle on a regular toilet with the heel of their foot? What's the point of that?
They don't want to touch it.
Well, let me ask you this. Is your hand more likely to have bad stuff on it or somebody else's shoe?
Don't ask me. Like I said,
So, in other words, the next person who may be touching that with their hand, somebody's shoe was just on there who may have stepped in a big bunch of whatever they stepped in.
That's exactly
I don't want to be
what I was
touching
gonna
a handle that somebody else just had their goddamn crappy shoe on that's who knows where they're stepping on it.
Right, and at 105, since you were talking about the Marlins, I'm going to be flipping over to music and a fag Episcopalian here.
Okay. What a shock. Couldn't believe he's Episcopalian. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Good pizza today, by the way, Brad. Thanks to our buddies at Tony's, 193rd Northwest 2nd Avenue. Get the address right or they're going to cut us off, okay? And by the way, for my bedwetting friend that called before that's so concerned about Patsy Ramsey and the Oughtaby, I hate to break the news to you, I made that story up. Just in case Joe was listening, I didn't want Joe to feel bad, think that I shined him at the track, and then come to find out that Joe didn't go anyway. So feel bad after all, okay? Joe shined me. I just didn't feel like going, Just didn't feel like it, especially the summer meet at Pompano. I mean, I realize there's spots coming up in a couple of minutes. You'll have a great time there. Better you than me, I'd rather go to Vegas and lose my money real fast, get it over with. That's what the Herald says. Says even that faggot Neil Rogers goes there to Vegas, loses his money like a maniac to those parasitic entrepreneurs. I enjoy losing my money to those parasitic entrepreneurs. I have a good time, okay? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Hey, man, public relations, man. You won the contest, man, we told you about a month ago, and you never asked about your prize.
What?
You won the contest. The Clarabelle, the Clown, Flubberdub, Mr. Bluster, Pillsbury Doughboy, lookalike.
Yeah, okay, Rob, whatever you say. Okay. Well, it's only 12:30, and this guy's already off to a good start. He's got a head start. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a Miami Beach call. Hello. Miami Beach.
Hey, Neil, how you doing, buddy?
Okay, sir.
Listen, why these people always rip Hank?
Hank hasn't even been mentioned today. We haven't even talked about Hank one time today.
No, not today, but every day. They won't call him when he's on. And let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
About 10, 15 years ago, we knew mutual friends, okay? And every time I saw him, believe me when I tell you, he was always with a fine-looking bitch. He was always with one.
Who, Hank?
So I remember a couple of weeks ago, this guy says, I'd cut my left testicle off if he was with Miss Louisiana or Miss Kentucky, or whatever the hell he was. You remember that conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was one guy. Everybody knows Hank's got good taste. He pays for the good stuff. And what's wrong with that?
Yeah, they don't have the balls to call him up and rip him when he's on the show, though.
Yeah.
They're wrong. Why don't they rip him when he's on the show instead of rip him for you?
Yeah. And what do I always tell him?
You stick up for him.
Call him if you want. You're upset with something about him. Call him up. Call up Fat Hank and rip him.
And then let them rip you on his show. Okay, have a good day.
I can handle it.
Okay.
As long as the checks keep clearing, I can handle it. Don't worry about it. Okay. I got a thick
rectum
hide. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. God, it's going to be so exciting when that ball game comes on, ain't it?
No.
God, it's going to be great. We're going to be out of here. Going to go home and babysit a couple of dogs like a real man. And I got news for her, with all due respect to some of my friends at Pompano Park. Sometimes your golden retriever is better company, you know what I'm saying? Don't talk back. I had the one over the 7, 8, 9, the 4 broke out. Yeah, okay. Just need a couple of weeks rest from that every once in a while. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil, when it comes to the stalls, a lot of these guys go in there because they have stage fright. Either that or they're really embarrassed.
Yeah. They have stage fright. They can't pee in a urinal.
Yeah, they can't. They're embarrassed to pee in front of some other guy.
Yeah, maybe they're afraid that some of those guys at the other urinals might be checking them out. Maybe they're afraid that there might be some maricones at those other urinals.
Yeah, well, then they
or maybe they're afraid they might get too excited and lose control of themselves. That could be it.
And hey, if when it comes to handle, just use Purell. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T lines. Very simple, and there are people making things complicated. You know what I'm talking about? Life is very, very simple. People want to complicate it. They want to get into a big sauna. It's the Howard Hughes syndrome. Lots of germs everywhere. Let's make sure that way, And you know something? If 50 guys did pee on the handle on that thing, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? Is there like some grotesque thing that's going to happen if 50 guys pee? First of all, it's going to probably be dry by the time you touched it with your hand and the handle too. And number two, even if it's not, so you wash your hands. In addition to which, it would seem to me that after you do that number, you're going to wash your hands anyway, unless you're some kind of a total slob, right? So what's the problem? Yeah, how come they never mention that? We're talking about the sit-down number, okay? You finish that, you wipe, which of course is, not always perfect. So what's the big deal with a handle? You're going to go wash your hands anyway after you do a dump. Don't get it. See, they almost had me snookered in on this one. I'm not buying it. Not buying it. It's like a neurosis. It's like a fetish. I'm telling you. You find people that flush the toilet with their foot. And I'll show you people that have had a very neurotic childhood. Probably bedwetters. 26 past noon at 560 WQAM. Let me tell you about a great place that I could have been last night, but I stayed home, and that's Pompano Park. That's right. You'll enjoy going there. Mondays, Monday through Saturday we got simulcasting, and Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday nights at 7:35 we got outstanding live on-track harness racing. I looked at the results in the paper, by the way, this morning, and I would have lost my ass. So I'm ecstatic I stayed home and babysat my golden retriever. How do you like that? He didn't say a word.
Can't beat that gator meat.
Alright.
I've been to Peter Siskel, bratwurst and sauerkraut. I love a Polish pickle. I'll roll the barrel out. I put on lederhosen as I wear a funny hat. The sound of a brass tuba and then I'm the clarinet. It's a sound you won't forget. It's my favorite dance. I'm singing a lively polka. Fill your beer tight up. Singing a lively polka. The cabbage rolls are good with sausage from a smoker. Stick your beer gun out. Singing a lively polka. Singing a lively polka. I'm singing a funky polka. The band goes on, pop, pop. We're singing a lovely polka. Dance with your grandma during a lovely polka. In heaven there's no fear, so drink some my new polka. Eat some kielbasa, listening to a polka. Listening to a polka. Come on. Everyone loves a polka. 2, 3, 4. That's so very nice.
So somebody faxes me this from Brain Droppings by George Carlin. He says, I never wash my hands after using a public restroom unless something gets on me. Otherwise, I figure I'm as clean as when I walked in. Besides, the sink is usually filthier than I am. I'm convinced that many of the men I see frantically washing up don't do the same thing at home. Americans are obsessed with appearances and have an unhealthy fixation on cleanliness. Relax, boys, it's only your he says. If it's so dirty that after handling it you need to wash your hands, you may as well go ahead and scrub your while you're at it. To tell you the truth, wouldn't you like to see some guy trying to dry his genitals with one of those forced air blowing machines that are mounted for 4 feet off the ground? Yeah, there you go. He's drying off his blow drying it. He's getting a blow job. All right, there you go, little George Carlin for you. I still say, if you're going to wash your hands anyway, what difference does it make if you put your hand on the lever? God. People with a Michael Jackson syndrome. Here's Homestead. Hello. Homestead.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Not only does my friend flush with his foot, but after he washes his hands, he still uses the towel to open the door because he don't know who's been there before him.
Uh-huh.
Now that's a hypochondriac.
Okay, listen, get the guy with the butterfly net. He'll be right over. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. There's nothing to me more of a big... Now, they do have, thank God, like in a lot of airports, not Miami, of course, but at like real airports, they have the things, the toilet seats that have the moving plastic thing on there, and you press a button, and it moves along, and you have like a fresh new piece of plastic sitting down there to stick your fat rectum on when you sit down. Now, that's good. That should be good enough for anybody. For people that have a my ass on the seat who are afraid they're going to pick up crabs or some other grotesque thing, God only knows what, off the toilet seat. But there's nothing to me more annoying than walking in and seeing like somebody's got 4 layers of toilet paper that they've like they're papering a goddamn wall or something. And they've got it layered over there. And then of course they get up and do they take it off and flush it away or throw it away? No, it's still sitting there. So now you have the benefit. You have to wonder, are they the ones that had the clean ass or not? I mean, are you going to sit on the toilet paper that somebody else sat down and put on there? No. Of course not. And now you're going to have to handle it. That's the best part. You're going to have to deal with it. Here's a mobile in Deerfield. Hello.
Neil God.
Yes, sir.
I'm a 36-year-old boxer-wearing male, and I flush with my foot.
Really?
I stand there like a freaking Karate Kid. I'm telling you, I can do it in...
Why do you do that? Don't you wash your hands then after you finish with all your business?
Sure, you know.
So then what are you worried about?
Well,
let me ask you this. I don't want to get, it's the middle of lunch hour. I don't want to get too indelicate, okay? But
right.
when you're wiping your rectum butt, okay?
Yeah.
Now, there are those times, as we know, we get those push-throughs, other certain problems. Sometimes
we go through to the other side,
whatever might happen. Now, I can assure you that whatever you might have on your hands from your own thing, it has got to be 1,000 times germier than whatever you might get off that handle there. I don't get it.
How about when you're sitting down to do number 2? Do you wipe the seat down or anything?
No.
Well, I've seen that one.
I mean, if it was wet.
Right, exactly. But I've seen that plastic thing down at Miami, and every one I've seen was malfunctioning, all jammed up, and people had, made a big mess of it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But like the appearances and stuff, I come up to you and I'm like, well, I'm too big a fan. I'm still going to shake your hand.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Neil.
Okay.
John Parker's a douchebag.
Okay, see you. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. America with all their fetishes, baby. We got a lot of real neurotic people out there. That's what we're finding out today. Something I never, goes to show you there's always something new that pops up. Something I never gave 1 second thought to in my life was the notion of watching some jackass putting his foot on that goddamn handle. Oh, I'm not going to touch that. God, what are we talking about here?
It's time for Turd Talk, the show that gets to what's really deep down inside of you. And now here's your host, Colin Cornwallis.
Good evening. I'm Colin Cornwallis, your host, and welcome to Turd Talk. The loaf lines are already lit up, so let's just get right down to the phones. Let's see, who's on number 2? It's Steve. Steve, you're on the air.
Hi, Colin. I'm a first-time caller.
Ooh, all right. We got a little something for you, Steve. Hang on. So what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to let you know how much the wife and I enjoy the show, and hold on, let me get some paper here. Okay, I'm back.
So your wife loves the show. That's great. Tell me, Steve, you're wiping right now, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, when you wipe, do you prefer a forward stroke or a backward stroke?
I think I prefer a forward stroke. As a matter of fact, the wife was just saying, uh-oh.
What's the matter?
I think I just ripped the paper.
Oh, okay. How well did you get to wipe?
Well, I got it pretty good.
Okay, do you feel any pressure under your fingernails?
Yes, I do.
Oh, boy. Remain calm. You're having what we call a push-through. Did you get any penetration?
I think so.
Okay, just do as I say, and everything's going to be okay. Now, is there any clothing on the bathroom floor? You want to look for something dark-colored.
Okay, let me see.
Now, pull your finger out nice and slow so you don't get a flicking effect, okay?
Okay.
Is your finger out, Steve?
Yes.
Now, the first thing you want to ask yourself as you look at your finger is, has anybody in the house really made you mad today?
No, they haven't.
Okay, go ahead and wipe it off, Steve.
Oh, thank you, Colin. Keep up the good work.
Well, you are welcome. And thanks for listening. That's all the time we have for now. Until the next Turd Talk, I'm Colin Cornwallis.
This has been Turd Talk, the show that gets down to what you're really made of.
23 till 1 at 560 WQAM, only about a half hour away or less from that big...
No.
Come on now, that's not the right attitude.
No.
Marlin pregame show, you're going to be hanging on there every word.
No.
Joe and Dave and Boogster and all those Graham, huh? No?
America loves to watch boobs and butts and boinking.
What would you do if I had normal boobs? Would you still run out and buy my CD? Do you get along when I screech out a song? Decide how much I sing? Oh, key. I get by with implants in my breast. I get guys with implants in my breast. I don't have to try with implants in my breast.
Did you audition for anybody?
I only had to pull my panties down.
Are they pleased with your body?
Yeah, not to mention where I put my mouth.
Can you succeed by just spreading your legs?
Yes, it doesn't matter if it's a girl or a guy.
How long will you be, sweet and just 17?
Well, at least until I'm out of rehab at 35. I get by with implants in my breast. I get guys with implants in my breast. I don't have to try with implants in my breast.
Have you pleased your backstage mommy?
She lives through me vicariously.
Your need for her money.
Well, in this business, that's the most important thing. I might get by with implants in my breast.
Yeah, come on, Brittany, one more. There you go. One more time. Thank you. 1244 at 560 WQAM. So anyway, Brittany's making a video up in West Palm, and the bad news is Jose Lambit, that writes that insipid South Florida Insider column. Nice going, by the way, Jose. Didn't mention Ricky one more time. Oh! All right, nice going, sweetheart. Second column in a row, he left Ricky out of there. But he mentions that Brittany is down here, and she was on South Beach, I guess, of course, with all the other very important people, all the other drug people. So at any rate, Brittany was very bummed out. Oh, it rains every afternoon here. This really sucks. Isn't that a shame, okay? Anybody out there like to bring Brittany in from the rain?
Oh!
Keep her occupied? Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got your problem solved for the toilet.
I don't have any problem.
Well, tell the
Evidently, we had a lot of people in Radio Land that got a problem, though.
If you slap a depend on, you don't have to worry till you get home.
Uh-huh. Okay, great. 556, whatever works for you, man. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. That's right. When in doubt, just let it out. Don't be going to those public restrooms. Kind of take a page out of my history book, you know, like that one day when I had a little problem. I pooped my pants. Yeah, that day. I decided, I mean, what's the point of straining? You're in the car, there's nobody else around. It just, gonna happen, that's all. Let it happen. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Not good for the socks, though. That was after I started wearing socks. Not a good idea. Here's a mobile in Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I just want to inform your audience that when anyone flushes the toilet, a fine spray of the water and whatever's in there goes out about 5 feet, so that if your toothbrushes are within 5 or 6 feet of that.
Okay, thank you. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Sounds better than Quest, don't it? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Ricky Martin's boyfriend.
Yeah, okay. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's the mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil. I just want to change the subject for a moment.
Please, let's get off of this pot.
I read in USA Today that Mike Smith's been canned in Toronto.
Oh, he did get canned?
The GM.
Huh.
And maybe it's about time that you go up there and say, I can do a better job than them.
Yeah.
Why?
What was wrong? What was wrong with the job they did last year?
Well, they didn't do anything, but they decided that Mike Smith was the scapegoat. He's the one who.
That's because Ken Dryden's an asshole. He's another one of those Cornell assholes. Okay, like Gary Bettman. He's another one.
I agree with you.
Okay, thanks for the bad news, sir. That's the end of the Leafs. We won't make the playoffs next year. No pressure. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Anybody care? We had one call about the cops and then we had the one alleged cop that called in, said he likes them young, but 18 is good enough because he don't want the call to be traced and find out that he probably is doing 15 and 16-year-old girls. One call. Anybody in this town care about the fact that your cops are out there screwing 16-year-old girls and running whorehouses? Anybody care?
No.
No, that's okay. Because you're a bunch of pussies, you're a bunch of wimps, you'll take any kind of crap that they dish out, you'll sit there and take your ticket and grumble a little bit for going 7 miles over the speed limit and watch them drive away 90 miles an hour in a 30 and can't do a goddamn thing about it. And if I say we live in a police state, oh, that Neil, he gets so carried away. Right. Right. Police state, baby. Mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, I am.
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Are you there?
Yes, I want to talk to you about my bathroom habits. Oh, hello?
I'm listening.
Okay. When I go to the bathroom.
And you go to the what?
The bathroom.
Bathroom?
Yes, when I go to the bathroom.
The bathroom? Yeah.
Bathroom. When I go there.
The bathroom?
Yes. After I.
How many F's in that?
What?
I said, go ahead.
All right. After I do my thing, I pull down my pants and I flush the toilet with my ass. Because I don't want to touch it with my hands.
You flush the toilet with your ass. Okay, good. Excellent. There you go. He flushes it with his rectum. All right. There we go. Oh! I mean, his ass is already probably a little on the smarmy side, so what's wrong with that? What's a few more germs going to hurt? Keep it in the family. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. So we got one guy, he's brushing his teeth with the spillover from the water. We got one guy who's supposedly sitting on the throne, taking a leak, trying to reach the urinal that's 15 feet across. It's great. And the message is, just like I did last night, stay home with your dog and lock the door and don't let anybody in. That's the message, okay? Oh! All you bedwetters out there? Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Buenos Aires.
And back to you.
Hey, listen, I just came back from a trip. I went to Italy.
Yeah.
And we don't.
And you're saying Buenos Aires?
Buenos Aires.
Oh.
Good afternoon.
Buenos Aires, not Buenos.
Buenos Aires, whatever.
Buenos is spick talk. It's Buenos Aires.
Okay,
Get
sorry.
it right. They'll kick your ass out of Italy. You talk spick talk.
Sorry about that.
They don't like no spicks in Italy.
Hey, listen. traveling to the different cities, we used to travel on the A1. So we used to start with those auto girls. You know those auto girls?
The what?
Auto girl. It's like a pit stop on A1. It's like the turnpike. You have the rest stops.
Yeah.
They call them auto girls there. So, anyways, and just talking about bathrooms, I was in the bathroom and I was using the urinal thing,
Yeah.
And
You were taking a leak, yes.
I felt something.
Like I said, 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Like I said, buena sera. Man, you know something? This was supposed to be good weed day here at QAM.
Yeah, man.
And somebody intercepted it, obviously. They got all the good stuff. We're sitting here eating pizza, which was very good, but we didn't get the good stuff. Damn it. I guess tomorrow. Tomorrow we close out the week with a heavy duty, with a smoke-in. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Thing about those cop things. The problem with that is the police they don't require much to apply. I mean, it's basically you could even apply with a GED.
Yeah.
You don't need a college degree or anything. And even the people that do have college degrees, they're sitting around waiting to get the job when people right from high school get it.
Yeah.
They're too young. They're not educated enough, and that does it. And another thing.
So in other words, you're saying that dumb people are the only ones that screw around?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh.
No. A lot of people screw around.
Oh.
But I'm saying you should at least have a little bit more of an education requirement when you're going to be in charge of, let's say, a domestic disturbance, at 2 o'clock in the morning. You should have a little more common sense than some kid straight out of
You would
high
think that you'd have a little more common sense than to be starting up a whorehouse and advertising in New Times, and it turns out that it's a cop and a bunch of cops are his customers. You'd think you'd have a little more sense than that.
Yeah.
That you might keep it like, at least write the numbers on a restroom wall or something, and keep it like out of the public eye.
That's right. And another thing I can't figure out why people have not figured out that, not to change the subject or nothing.
Go ahead.
But Cubans cannot run a country. So
Right.
why did we let them start running Miami?
Well, I think Dade County is a classic example of that.
Exactly.
Now you see why Cuba went to hell in a handbasket. Just go
Exactly.
take a look at Dade County.
Thank you, Neil.
And buenos dias. Buena Sera. I can't believe it. Well, I do believe after that guy, what he said, that Buena Sera guy. Yeah, and Buen Palmarijo to you too, okay, jackass? Now this guy was right on target. We got a lot of, cops. And again, because who wants to pay somebody when they're only out there supposedly risking their lives? Who wants to pay somebody for something like that? Who wants to pay somebody to teach your kids, Who wants to pay somebody to be the president and have his finger on a button? When we can pay Latrine Sprewell $12 or $15 million a year. And Zoe, huh? How's Zoe doing, huh? Say it ain't so, Zoe. And don't forget, let's go Spurs. Oh! Just mention that for one more game tomorrow, and then we can shut all those up. And you notice, did we hear from one New Yorker today?
No.
No. One New York sports fan?
No.
Oh, thank God for that. Thank you, Mrs. Robinson and David Robinson, too. Don't he play for San Antonio? Oh, thank God. See, I don't pay any attention, but I saw him out there. He's about 8 feet tall. And he looks almost human, too. Not quite.
Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Well, stay in school, don't go out on your own. There's a whole lot of stuff you just can't do at home. Search all around, but you won't see a CEO with a GED. Well, nothing compares to the marvelous feeling of making butter patties, stick to the ceiling, smoke it in the bathroom, making out in the hall, or hitting a fat kid with a speeding dodgeball. Yeah, I remember that boy. To throw a paper wad with a fire alarm, blow up the toilet with a cherry bomb, dissect a frog in biology class, find yourself a nerd and wedge his ass.
Rectum.
Well, you'll be a hit in chemistry when you make the class a batch of LSD. Start a food fight, you milk out your nose. When you go to school, where anything goes. Stay in school, don't go out on your own. 'Cause there's a whole lot of stuff you just can't do at home. Search all around, but you won't see a CEO with the GED. Search all around, but you won't see a CEO with a GED.
All right, it's 12:58, 560 WQM. It's look at this, 8 minutes to go till that pregame show, and look where everybody went. They're already bailed out. How do you like that, huh? You like it?
No.
I don't. One call left on the board. We've been smoking here all week long. We've been smoking the good stuff, and now because we're coming up on a ball game, they have backed us into a goddamn corner. Thanks a lot, Greg. Thank you, John Henry. You're killing us. You think I'm killing you? You're killing us. You're destroying us. Wait till you see Hank's numbers for this afternoon. He's going to 0 point. It's going to be in a minus column. That was well, we can sit shitty for a week for what they're going to do to his show this afternoon. At least I only get like 1 hour. God. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You know that you're not supposed to use the Lord's name in vain?
Yeah, okay. Okay, pal. Whatever you say. Damn it, God. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Another one of those little nose-picking Julios. Yes, sir.
Got a spy report for you on the Donnie B pregame show the other day.
Yes?
He played Nobody Does It Better, ode to Chris Moore, for about 10 minutes, and he had him on the radio telling him how great he was.
You have to be kidding me.
No, sir.
Our Donnie B sucked Chris Moore's rectum. You have to be joking me. The worst play-by-play broadcaster in the history of the National Hockey League, maybe in the history of all professional sports, and Donnie ZB kissed his ass?
Yeah, and he had him on there, and he was sucking on him, and he was talking about Chris Moore just signed with ESPN Radio. And,
oh, my God.
Yeah, well, isn't that something? So did Tony Bruno. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and he's going to go to Laughing Hyena School there. And,
oh.
I just,
Donnie B kissed. I mean, what's the point? He's already gone. Can't they let go here? What's the problem?
How great he was. It was just, my radio was dripping spooge.
I just can't believe this. I mean, I'm just speechless. I thought Donnie B was like had some kind of a brain.
No, and not only that, but he had a pre-prepared tape segment with Nobody Does It Better, and you hear Chris Moore going,
oh, no!
Yeah,
oh, my God! Oh!
I hope you finished with your lunch before I told you this.
Oh, yeah, but it's making a comeback now.
Well, I just thought I needed to share that with
Jesus Christ and Joseph, God damn it. Oh, that's right, I'm not supposed to take Joseph's name in vain.
So every time the Marlin game comes on, and you've been touting Donnie B, and you've been giving...
What do you mean, wait a minute, what do you mean I've been touting Donnie B? I see him in the morning, he's in there, he never stole a freight train, he's not a bad guy, at least I never thought till today. I don't know him from Adam, I haven't had 15 words with this guy. I've been touting him for what? All I do is say he's going to be on, he's on the schedule here.
Well,
that Bulldog makes out.
You give him the Donnie J, you talk him up there.
That means I'm talking him up? Because I'm making fun of the fact he don't want to be called Donnie, so it's like Donnie Z.B., whatever the hell his name is today. I don't know. All I know is now that I can't stand him after you told me that.
Well, it's the gospel truth.
I mean, the guy's been gone for months now since the end of the season. Why not let bad garbage drift off and back to Jersey where it came from?
Oh, I know. It went on and on and
on.
Oh,
like this call. See ya. God. Do you believe that? Do you believe that Donnie B. sucked up to Christina Moore? I mean... What kind of a moron would do that? Boy, whatever little respect I had. Is he? Oh, no wonder he's not going to be on today. I think he's been suspended for too much suction, okay? That's why Josh Darrow's on after the game today, and then Jim Mad Dog Mandich at 6. I think Donnie ZB has been suspended from the Marlin activities for too much heavy-duty sucking. A little sucking, that's okay, but too much sucking, it's not good. Not good. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir?
Hello, Neil. This is a Floridian floor foot flusher.
My
problem is when I leave the bathroom, I don't want to grab the handle and pull it to walk out the door.
What does that mean?
In other words, the door to leave the bathroom area.
Yeah.
You know, when you go out into the hallway.
Yeah.
The hallway door always
I got a real good idea. Why don't you do this? Why don't you moisten your hands and get the soap on them, and then take some towels, and then open the door up, and then on the outside, finish the job, wiping your hands off, yeah.
Yeah, well, they should make it a health code where you can just, put your shoulder against the wall and then just push the door open.
Right.
So you could leave
Or they could just have an automatic door openers. How's that?
There you go.
Automatic flushers, automatic door openers, automatic hands to take your pants.
Everything in automatic wipe your ass.
Right, that's good.
It's called bidets, right?
Okay, and have a good day. And did you hear that call about Donnie B sucking Chris Moore's ass? Is that a true story? We better check that out. If I find out that's true, I mean, I am good. Not that he cares what I think of him, but my God, he's dropped 400 notches already. Even in Mississippi, they never saw notches like that. God. Well, what would be the point? Is he coming back here?
No.
Do we owe him anything?
No.
Do we need to lie to him?
No.
Are we concerned about our credibility?
No.
Obviously not. Obviously Donnie ZB ain't concerned about his credibility. Of course, he works on QAM, so I rest my case. But you take a guy who did the worst job, a guy who's just despised by virtually everyone, a guy who's a sour ass, a guy with that frumpy. Do you ever see him walk up and down the stairs at the old arena? Kind of like that frumpy slouch. He had the look of a loser, the sound of a loser, the ambiance of a loser, the attitude of a loser. Oh, that Neil Rogers, he's never going to be on QAM. Yeah, right. He sure knew his crap, didn't he? And I bet you he didn't even wipe after he used to say those things. Spew out a gigantic pile of all over the airwaves. And still never wiped it.
Crap.
Right. So nice going, Donnie B. Of course, I forget. See, I don't understand this radio station. Anybody who ever worked here was a great talent. Like, who's the one that, Bob was choosing. That's the one Hank's always kissing his ass. Bob was choosing. Bob was choosing. Well, you know something? I've taken bowel movements that had more talent than Bob was choosing. Not to mention, of course, that...
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Okay. Yeah, that too. Maybe we... What? Now, just a minute. You told me 104.42 on my clock. It's 104.26 now. I'm going by the time you gave me, and if it turns out to be wrong, it's going to be your little skinny ass that's going to have the problem, whether you wipe it or not. So everybody get ready, put your foot on the goddamn handle, and it's time for the Marlins pregame show, and God, are we depressed about this and glad to be going home, huh?
The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale.